keep on believing something's gonna happen. We're no longer dreaming. I got a feeling. I believe it. There's nobody better. Let's get together. I know the road was hard. Too bad to give it up. Not
It is win or elim time here in Singapore for the beginning of the knockout stage. We are coming to you live from the Suntec Convention Center in Singapore, and we are ready to kick off the quarterfinals of Icons 2022. It's down to the final 8 teams, and in the end, one of them will be crowned the first ever Wild Rift Global Champion. I'm Mika Fabs, and joining me for the analysis of every game today, it's Stuart and it's Degon. Surprise, surprise! A newcomer to the AD.
That's right. It's different in this role, but I'm excited to get into these games and break down everything that's happened.
I'm very excited to have you here.
It's going to be good fun. It's knockout stage. It's the part of the tournament where things get exciting.
Oh yes, very exciting indeed, especially since taking a look at our brackets, we have a best of 5 series every single day, and big news, every day is elimination day. I told you guys this when we were syncing up for the pre-show. I didn't even realize that every day was elimination day, and I panicked all of a sudden because I was like, oh my gosh, the stakes are so high.
That's right. Remember, the last 2 days of competition, we didn't see a WRL team because all of them finished at the #1 seed. And so we have 4 WRL squads, 1 in every single match. And we'll see if the 3 WCS teams or the 1 Korean representative, Rolster Y, will be able to take them down.
That's absolutely right. And things have changed since the group stage. We have a slightly different game because right now we're playing on patch 3.2c, Stuart.
Yeah, new patch means some new changes. Not really big changes to the patch. A few buffs here and there. There's been buffs to champions like Thresh, which has been quite popular in the tournament at the moment. Also, Janna has also got a buffed movement speed to her Tornado. Soraka has received a nerf as well. So some little changes, but I don't think too much will change.
Yeah, it very much feels like if you play these champions, then you got the buff, but none of these buffs are enough to make you change into it. So if you're a Thresh player, you want to play something that has a little bit more kill potential, cool, great. Now it's a little bit more viable. I think the biggest difference is now there's higher priority on something that can heal. So you're talking Yuumi, Sona, Senna, all of those champs have been pretty high prioritized. And then maybe, just maybe, we see a little bit more hyper carry play because Janna has that little bit more kill potential. But generally, I don't think it's enough that changes things. But it is really cool to have a tournament with patches in the middle of it, enough to at least make it interesting.
Yeah, make it exciting for sure. But so you guys don't think we're seeing anything crazy, you know, crazy out there that's going to affect like these teams?
I think it's too short of a time period. I think the patches came out on Wednesday, we're now Friday, so it's only a few days, and I think that if teams wanted to change things that quickly, then fair play to them. You know, that's a really difficult thing to do, to change up your draft and change up your game plan that much short period of time.
To be able to do that for our friends at home, that means you have to take a scrim block, a match that was already scheduled with the opponents, and you know you don't want to play the opponent that you're playing next, and test this thing out, and that is wasting valuable time to gain better practice and on things that you're probably going to play. Maybe not wasting 2-3 scrims on finding out if Janna Vayne, Janna Draven is going to be a little bit better for you when you generally know what that's like.
Right. Well, we've been seeing a lot of experimentation and solo queue and ranked games for sure, but just to make sure for the audience out there, Nautilus and Pyke will not be making an appearance here at Icons 2022, not just yet anyway. So unfortunately, we won't be getting too interesting of a game set right now.
Yeah. Mini patch, okay. Big game changing, like pick priorities, obviously,
in the middle of
not
everything.
as much.
We're going to throw all our notes away.
That would be fun, but that would not be as strategic, I'd say.
Of course. But speaking of changes, we have had a lot of changes when we ask everybody on the Icons desk who their top 5 players to watch out for would be. And now that we're in the knockout stages, let's update these lists with some new top 5. Stuart, we're going to start with yours. Let's take a look at your old list and compare it.
This was at the start, so this was before the tournament even began. I had a few players on there, you know, had Andre. I thought that he would be like, I thought Andre was.
Maynard did okay, but come on, that's a little homery.
I don't want to mention about your one. I love how you're flaming my pre-list now, but we'll wait until we get to your one. But I think my one is updated a little bit. I still got some of the players on there that I did do before. My updated list is kind of like my all-star roster, I would call it at the moment. So I've got a different player from every single role and a different team as well. We've got Fado, Long, Helios in the mid lane as well, which has been really, really strong right now. Berry as well actually has the highest average KDA at the moment in the tournament, 12.64. But one player I want to focus on is Nomel, the support for Rolster Y. Nomel has come in as a substitute. He's originally a mid laner, but now he's in the support role because Salem has his contract expired, so they brought in Nomel instead. And he's been the big surprise factor for me. He's been the one that's been on the engages, been playing all these unique champions. He's been really, really fun to watch as well.
Yeah, he definitely has, and the way that he stepped up has allowed this Rolster Y roster start playing down towards the bottom side of the map. Coming into the tournament, all of us had Rattel rated so highly coming on in, but now they're a bot-focused squad that can do that because of how aggressive Nomel has been playing, that allows Luna to sit back, dish out damage, and when needing to, then showing off the mechanics. But it's been a great display from the support role.
Yep.
Nomel's definitely turned a lot of heads here at Icons 2022. Checking out my top 5, I don't have anything to be embarrassed about, by the way. These players did do extremely well. We did have
WCS
Seki.
players!
Of course.
This is so Homer!
Of course. We have Coyote, we have Noel, we have Long, and we have Chaz here. And I think, like, looking at the WCS finals and everything, we definitely have seen, like, Coyote and Noel in better shape than here at Icons 2022. And with that, we have my updated top 5, which features, I had to put 2 of RRQ in there. But, of course, Long, Luna, Nomel, and Chaz, and Marky. And I really think that when we talk about players to watch, Marky has definitely made that list, and it's because of moments like these. I mean, you have to fall in love with this guy, with how charming he's been with his camera bending power. I mean, just look at this. The entire, the social media loves him. The entire production fell in love with him when he started doing antics like this, and I think he just makes it for a very fun and interesting tournament. And come on. It's so fun to watch RRQ.
On a team full of players that have been standout, Marky has done a great job dishing out damage for a team that plays very chaotic. He feels like, along with EXO, he feels like he's the one that can kind of be a stable rock that allow Chaz to go a little crazy, that allow Helios to go a little crazy there in a lot of these longer skirmishes that they have.
Fun in-game and fun out-of-game, I feel like, as well. Fun to watch in-game, fun to watch out-game. His Varus is definitely one to look out for.
Exactly. We know how much damage he can deal out. Now, Dagon, it's going to be your turn, and Stuart, I'm going to give you dibs on commenting on this one.
All these overs over here. Let's take a look at my original top 5 that I had. Just the cream of the crop. Oh gosh.
Copium.
Oh, no. Rush had himself a good tournament win. Sengoku won as the #1 seed of the WJC, but when he had bad games, they lost. That was basically it. MTS was pretty enigmatic. I think in his matches, I think you could call out Beg, I think, who played pretty well on that squad, but not the tournament that he wanted. Starting got 1 series as he was filling in a very difficult spot for the Immortal squad. Acrobat and Kwangdong Freaks, obviously we know that they went out early. So EXO, I will say that EXO, I got EXO right. Exosin, again, the former pro that spent a lot of time in League PC over on Mineski, has grinded his way and now found himself leading this roster for RRQ, again, being the stabilizing force down on the bottom side of the map with Marky. But Helios has been the beneficiary of all of that with how much he's been able to just fight and show off mechanics enough and chaos enough that I think there maybe is a chance that they'll be able to pull off the upset against Fado and FPX. Now, FPX, again, played 4 games. They played more games in the finals than they have all of Icons so far. So they haven't even shown anything yet. But the cool part about that matchup, and we'll get into that a little bit, is that RRQ don't care. They're going to play their game regardless. Luna has been stepping up for this Rolster Y squad. As you said, you could pick Nomel, you could pick Luna. Either one of those guys have been basically asking for the resources and doing a lot with it. And then I think it's on everyone's list. It's the long show for Nova. I think Nova looked the most in-form squad coming into the knockouts because of how good this player has been. Think back to when they played Levitan, the #1 squad from Latin America. They spent all of their bans in the jungle role, and he's like, okay, no problem, I'll just go ahead and flip on over to Camille. But he's shown that he can play Echo, he can play the Jax, he can play everything, and I think that's why he's on everyone's everything proficiently, and that's why he's on everyone's list here.
I mean, he's the WRL MVP for a reason, and we've seen it here at Icons as well. We've seen that why he is the MVP of China, and he's going to look to try and step up again today.
Yeah, hopefully that's the case.
Maybe a little bit too much copium early. That a lot of noise.
I had the one EU. I had Andre who had a choice, but he was like MTS starting, Quantum Freaks.
Yeah. All right. That was early on, and now I'm analyst Egon, not host Egon. All right, there we go.
Change man.
Analyst Digon, you did bring up potential upsets, so I actually want to know if you guys are predicting any potential upsets. What are your bold predictions for what we're seeing today?
Yeah, Stuart.
My bold prediction, these two already know it. People at home don't know it. I think every single quarterfinal is going to go 3-0. Every single one. I think China as a region, I think the players and the teams in general, FPX, Nova, J-Team, I think they're just going to stomp the rest of the competition. I think we're going to see an all-Chinese semi-final.
I think that was easy to say in the play-in stage. I didn't believe it as much in the knockout stage because we saw a couple teams lose.
Yeah.
So I believe now that we're in a stage where we've trimmed the fat. We are now at a point where all these teams have hands. We know that they what is it? You have to be this tall to ride. And I think all these teams have shown that they can do that. And so I think that maybe there's one team that might not be able to. But my bold prediction is that all the games go five games. All series go 5 games except one series. I think it's actually this. I actually think it's this first series with Rolster Y and Nova. I think Nova's too good. I think Long is a terrible matchup for Do. Like, any way you slice it up, we'll take a look at that one.
Ooh, that's going to be spicy. So Stuart thinks we're going home early, and Deegan thinks it's going to be a late night for us.
I hope you like us on the desk.
You're going to be hearing a lot of us talk.
I don't think my bold prediction is unexpected. I think it's like, come with me on a copium train, guys. Come with me on a copium train.
We already started it. EU first, NA second.
Yeah. Now you got to give it over to me. I think that RQ are winning this one. My bold prediction. That's my bold prediction. And
Gets
you
a
believe
Chinese
me?
first seat.
Against FPX,
Who've been like playing teams bored and winning.
all the
They look
copium,
bored.
Haven't
all the
showed
copium
anything
goes
yet.
this way. Let's actually take a look at our schedule right now because that is what's gonna happen. They are playing FPX, but before that, we're gonna jump first into Nova versus Rolster Y, FPX versus RRQ, and we have Flash Wolves versus J Team and Team Flash versus JDG. Stuart, what do you think? RQ? Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of hype matchups here for sure. You've got day 1 with Nova against Rolster Y and then FPX RRQ, and then day 2 tomorrow as well. I think day 2 is looking quite interesting. I think Team Flash against JDG is going to be an interesting one. I think Team Flash haven't looked as strong in the group stage what they showed in WCS, so I'm interested to see how they go up against the second seed from China, JDG.
Yeah, obviously the big game is our second game of the day and our final series of the day here, FPX and RRQ. But a little surprise here for Flash Wolves, just because we got to see an Ysera sighting. We knew it was the Bruce show, right? But Ysera showing up in the Baron lane as someone else that could take resources and win is a little interesting here. But again, J-Team, they've got some great players in Cherry and Barry.
Very Cherry.
Or very scary.
I see we did that.
Yeah.
Very Cherry scary.
Yeah.
I was wondering when we would bring out that alliteration, and now he sounds like a Sunday. So it's
Yep.
Very
Delicious.
Cherry
Yeah.
It's delicious gameplay.
I'm thinking about food now. Let's put the Sunday aside for now, and I actually want to get into RRQ versus FPX because, again, every day here is going to be elimination day, which makes this, the stakes are high for every single series that we have. This is the second matchup that we have for the day, and it's going to be a very, very interesting one because these teams have not crossed paths just yet here at Icons. RRQ, very aggressive, go for broke, and on the flip side, FPX, very calm, very, very consistent, Stuart.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, FPX coming in, like Deegon already said, felt like they were kind of bored in their series.
Yeah.
They haven't really showed too much as well. You can see the FPX roster as well. These players are just, really, really time to shine for them. They're going to show today why they are the #1 seed from China. I think that they were hiding a few things in the group stage. They were playing a lot of the same picks, but now it's going to be able to, step up their game.
Yeah, I think they're hiding a lot.
Again, I think we'll talk about it when we get to that series in depth because it's the chaos of RRQ against the scaling of 0711 and FPX. And the way that that works is very fascinating. Again, most kills so far for the squad is 0711, but most damage, he's the third damage dealer on that team. So he basically is the cleanup squad. We'll get to how that works when we get to that
Later on, yeah.
Yep, and first up, of course, is going to be Rolster Y taking on Nova Esports. We're going to dive into the first matchup of the day, and Rolster Y is the #1 seed from the WCK, the last team here representing Korea. This is their first Icons match against Nova from the WRL, a team that has only lost one game so far. So, you know, what is the matchup that is going to decide this best of 5? What do you think, Stuart?
I think, you know, for me, it comes down to, you know, Luna and Nomel. I think we already mentioned, you know, the bot side with Luna and Nomel. I think that match is going to be so interesting, the matchup in the bot side. I think Luna and Nomel are two players, you know, coming into it. We already knew how strong and how good Luna was, you know, from last year at the Horizon Cup as well. And now with Nomel, new dual lane partner as well, they're going to really be able to step it up.
Yeah.
I think on the opposite side for Nova, it's kind of like what for Flash Wolves. For Flash Wolf, it's the Bruce show. For Nova, it's the long show.
Yeah.
They have gotten every single first dragon in every game that they've played, even in the ones that they lost, right? They lost to Furious Gaming in the play-in stage. But it's really about the MVP, how much can they go with this player, as well as Nian in the mid lane. Again, he's substituting for this squad, not normally the starter is with the team, but not normally the starter, and has showed off a great variety, has played 6 different champions, and versatility like Long that allows Long to get in, dish out the damage, and scale. He's played the Jax, he's played the Camille, played the Echo. Again, the diversity makes it very difficult for him to get targeted with 5 bans because a team has done it before, and we'll see if if there's a different strategy here for Rolster, because it feels like it's the jungle matchup is going to go the way of Nova. The Dragon Lane matchup is going to go the way of Rolster.
And I think, you know, kind of following on from the long point as well, I think Remake as well in the bot side for Nova, he's been playing champions like the Senna, like the Ziggs. They've been prioritizing that lot in the draft, and that helps Long be able to, you know, with the AP damage, whether it's from the Nasus, Senna lane, whether it's from the Ziggs, that allows Long to pay the carries, you know, the Kha'Zix, the Jax, you know, champions like that as well. And I think Remake has been a player that have definitely stepped it up as well, because, you know, when you're playing champions like Senna, like Ziggs, sometimes you know, you're just sitting back, you're just trying to do as much damage as possible, but that's kind of the way that Nova plays. It's like 4 players just surrounding Long and just making sure that he doesn't get far behind.
Right, and that's going to be interesting because the most played champion for Do has been Kha'Zix, and so Kha'Zix can get on those backline carries, and scales pretty well, and it's been a very consistent strategy here for Rolster. They've banned Corki out of their, I think, 8 or 9 games. They've banned them 7 times. 7 times banned Corki, 5 times banned Jay. So it's like, okay, we're comfortable being the scaling team as they've done since Horizon Cup before, but on the champions that we're comfortable doing it with. Corki, one that you could feel comfortable doing that, but if you're good at it, they don't feel comfortable doing that, both in the mid lane or in the Dragon lane. So they'll get rid of that one.
Not to mention, there's, again, a lot of stakes here. This is the last remaining roster from the WCK. And, you know, I actually bumped into them earlier, and they were, you know, I tried to cheer them on and everything. They were very serious. They were very, very quiet. I can understand why, because this is an elimination match. The loser, goes home. And that means a lot, of course, for the WCK region. And we saw it from so many other teams. You know, they tried to shut down Long, and they just can't do that. Even though if they expend all of their bans on this one player, you still have the other 4 to deal with, and you still can't shut down Long, Digon.
Yeah, definitely not. But I don't think the other teams that tried that had the same amount of firepower as they do as Rolster Y does. Nomel is probably the most informed support, and Luna has been very, very good, if not living up to his star player hype, unlike what we've seen in the Baron lane in Rattel.
Really quickly, predictions, gentlemen. Stuart, you first.
I think it's no surprise. Nova, for me, has to be Nova.
Yeah, definitely Nova here. I do think that this is a series that maybe won't go all the games, but maybe a 3-1 here.
Yeah, I'm voting for Nova as well. I really do think that they're just on an entirely different
Too
level.
good.
We've been saying that since the play-ins,
Yeah.
but I think it's 100% true. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for those predictions. Not that bold, might I say. Not as bold as I thought
Not
it
just
was
yet.
going to be. Not yet, not yet. We're gonna get spicier as the day goes on, but our predictions are in, and we are just minutes away from our first match of the knockout stage. It is Rolster Y versus FPX Icons 2022 starts right about now. Ladies and gentlemen, strap in. It is going to be a very, very bumpy ride.
But now we have quarterfinals only.
胜利就是我生活中的一部分吧。不管未来怎么样，至少我们现在是在一起，我们其实连在一起。
仰望星空。
脚踏实地。
Starts at the top with Nova against Rolster.
올해로 노바를 만나서 좀 많이 기대되는 것 같습니다. 이김으로써 제 위상을 높일 수 있을 것 같아서
我们有100%的信心去战胜阿伟。
저는 충분히 강하고 우승 후보에 이름 올릴 만한
FTX against RRQ.
RRQ is the best team.
方布拉斯就是 Icons 最好的队伍，然后越打越自信。下一场比赛会3-0战胜对手的。
We fear no one at Icons. That's why we're gonna win.
继续加油吧，每次都要进步一点。这就是自己打法比较凶吧。
你们准备被我们制裁吧？
팀에서 중심적인 오더를 맡고 있고
如果我们淘汰了 WIO 社区队伍，也不会感到伤心吧？
就等待着被我们屠杀吧。
打的时候真的就是一点感觉都没有。
为了赢，做什么都可以。不管怎么样，就是赢下这场比赛。希望能够在不管怎么样，就是赢下这场比赛。一定要赢。
It's finally time for the quarterfinals, the Icon Global Championship, and a lot of 3-0 claims for the day. We've seen these teams play it out, and we know they're good, but we're here to find out who's the best. Confidence is key as we start our day off with Nova versus Rolster Y.
And from the teaser that we saw, we can already see that so many of these teams are feeling so confident. I'm gonna be honest with you here, that feature, it gave me chills, Granted.
I mean, what an amazing start to the day, honestly. The feature, Digon on the desk. You know, I learned a lot from Digon.
Yeah, I learned some things from Digon.
All right, what did you learn from Digon?
Stats.
Stats? All right.
Nova banned Corki 6 times.
Wasn't it, did it say 7 or
Something like that.
Something like that. Well, I mean, I learned a great piece of information.
Okay, what's
Right,
that?
Digon has informed me that these teams have hands.
Oh yeah, he's right though. If you look up on the stage, you can definitely see 10 players who have hands 100%.
He is absolutely right. Digon, you're so good, man. You're so good, Digon.
Yeah, but you know who else is so good?
Who else is so good?
Those players on stage right now. I'm so pumped to see
Absolutely.
this matchup.
We have so many incredible players playing out, and the Des has touched so much about this.
Yes.
You know, the top side for Nova Esports, you have this amazing Baron lane, this amazing jungler, and the
Yeah.
bot side for the side of Rolster. Why? An amazing Dragon laner and amazing support.
Yeah, there's a lot of matchups here that I want to go into as the series goes on. Of course, we are in playoffs now. We are in knockouts. It's going to be best of fives. We're going to see these teams play out quite a number of games here. But you saw the confidence coming in from the WRL teams. I also like that in the futures, Rolster Y were very confident. They said, we're gunning for the championships. We can be the best team here. Well, let's see if they can put their money where their mouth is.
We know from Rolster Y's side as well, you know, this is a team that has been practicing a lot against WRL teams, right? In their regular season, this has been something they've been working towards. They've been trying to get more practice against WRL teams, especially with their previous experience in the Horizon Cup. Now they know we have to be prepared against them, going up against them. I think this is where they're most comfortable, most in their element.
And I like how they've been changing their drafts, changing their playstyles. Just look at what Nova are banning against Rolster Y right now. If you look at Rolster Y in the WCK playoffs, and you come to Icons and you say they're going to get Singed banned against them, they're going to get Varus banned against them, it's not really something you would expect. But I love how this team has been able to diversify their playstyle. Luna has been so good on the Varus, Zero has been so good on the Singed. They've really added a new dimension to the play. Now, there's only one question to ask now. Is that going to be enough against a team like Nova?
I really like what Rolster Y is doing to get this one going.
Yeah,
Stuart
good
mentioned
bets.
this, right? The fact is, Senna has been something that Nova have played incredibly well.
Yes.
I also feel like it's because teams haven't been able to punish them well enough, right? When they have gone for the Senna, Nova this time around, going for the Corki again. Maybe this is why Digon says they need to ban this one out.
Yeah, if they're not banning it, they're going to pick it. It's definitely one of the highest priority picks from the WRL teams. Two main reasons, right? They love to take fights around objectives. Package is going to give you a great time at doing that, and Corki gives you the inevitable scaling factor as well. No need to rush the game out. No need to play it so slow if you're confident, or so fast rather, if you're confident you're going to be the better team by the end regardless.
Rolster Y respond with very staple picks for the WCK. The Kha'Zix, a massive pickup, and the Ziggs as well. But the response to Nova, strong one coming through. Lee Sin for long.
I really like the response coming in from Nova. You have a challenge being issued right now. Long is saying, no, I'm going to come and take you down. I'm going to play a faster matchup here, and I'm going to punish this Kha'Zix pickup, which frankly, Grandin, has been a bait many times in the past.
It has power doing objectives, and it has power taking out isolated targets, but more often than not, we see a lot of issues trying to scale up the Kha'Zix, especially the tempo that Lee Sin kind of provides.
All right, so we start to see a formation of what these two teams want to do here. We start to get the idea. Rolster Y is very simple. We're opting into a poke composition. And you got to keep in mind, if you're playing a poke composition, what can you not afford to do, Grandin? You got damage. You can't afford to fall behind. You have to maintain tempo in the game. You have to keep some sort of gold lead here, because the moment you start falling behind, Nova with the Camille, with the Corki package, with the Lee Sin, they're going to run you over.
So I see we've haven't casted together in a little bit.
Yeah.
And the moment we get back, the pop quizzes start up again.
I thought you would be ready, you know?
They're testing me. You're testing me. Like how Nova are testing Rolster Y right now.
I think it's the other way around. Rolster are testing Nova. Rolster are saying, can you break us with this early game team comp that you have? Because Nova kind of have the burden to play it faster right now. Camille does have an inevitable late game power, but Rolster Y, if they get a lead, their comp is going to be so oppressive to play against.
I want to see how they finish off the composition, right? Because they do have quite a bit of power now, but there's still a lot of room. Two more picks can entirely change the direction of a composition.
100% here. Lux, Alistair, support picks being targeted. If you see Nova's team comp, what are they looking for right now? They're looking for a support and either a mid or dragon lane flex on the side of Rolster Y, either a support or a top or mid lane flex. So a lot of flexibility in the drafts, a lot of options available right now, but Rattel's going to get target banned.
I love what Rolster Y is doing here with the Lux ban, because the Lux is something that has been kind of the option when you don't have the Ziggs, right? In the bot side, when you want to be able to deal with the heavy wave, clear the lane from the Ziggs, you come in with the Lux, and that does so much for the team.
Yeah, you're going to get rid of the shielding as well. When we talk about Nova, what do we always talk about? It's the 4 facilitating. 1, Lux is a champion that does that very well. Alistair is a champion that does that very well. Long would not have the late game scaling factor this game, but if you give him setup for the early game, you know this guy can run away with the game.
Greg is coming through for Rolster Y. Powerful bot side, though, still quite flexible, like you've mentioned. This is that
top side, support side flex. You know, you want to have flexibility there. Nova get to decide what they want to finish this one off of. I kind of want to see, so we already have most of the top side settled here for Nova. I kind of want to see Remake and Yami come in really strong this bot side, right? Take them on aggressively.
Well, that's one.
does well with that.
Yeah. That's a start here, right? What are we saying? Nova is looking for options to engage with. Rakan definitely gives you that. He can play off the Camille. He can play off the Lee Sin. But on the side of Roster Y, this Gragas pick gives you so much value as well. You're a tanky frontliner. You can play to disengage. And typical picks here from Nova. Yami will play utility for his team yet again. Nian is going to be on the scaling factor. Iza is going to be one of the primary carries on that Camille. And Long, the entire first 10 minutes of the game, it's all going to be about the Son of the Dragon here.
The Son of the Dragon, the one that's going to bring Nova closer towards the win perhaps here. Roster Y needs to see how to respond to this one. A lot of pickoff potential on the side of Nova and very good pickoff potential. You hit them with the binding, very easy to follow up and finish off a kill.
Not a big fan of this one, I'll be real with you.
They go with the Wukong instead. Not a fan of which one?
I'm not a big fan of the Wukong last pick here. I feel like maybe there was some better options you could have gone for. Some kind of safety, some kind of security. You can kind of hold the Camille in the side lane, but eventually you will lose that matchup. And Wukong doesn't really fit the rest of the team.
It feels
they
like
want to
needs
poke
so much tempo.
It does, but you also have to keep in mind that I can't be diving too deep. My team wants to play back. They want to poke. If I dive in, get a big Cyclone down, my team might not be able to follow up on that. So you got to keep in mind that you can't go too aggressive here on the side of Rattel. But he's a great player. That Baron lane matchup, it's going to be very exciting to watch.
This is really interesting, right? We talked so much about how Nova's going to play towards the top side and they are. But Roster Y have identified this is an opportunity for us to take the fight over the Nova.
Yeah.
We can directly address this, coming with the Wukong, coming with the Kha'Zix, maybe win the game off this topside pressure.
Mid jungle is going to be a very big factor here for Roster Y as well. A lot of pressure is going to be on Zero. Playing the Jason to the Cocky, I want to see you get some sort of lead to enable Dole to have space on the map, to start objectives, to power farm, do whatever Kha'Zix does best.
I am still a little bit unsure. You know, when the last time I managed to see it, the Morgana was still hovered towards the bot side.
It should be Dragon Lane, yes.
Right, so it might be able to go into the mid side as well. There is some flexibility there.
Yes, but I do believe it will be a cocky mid, and because, you know, this is just the identity of the team, Remake should be playing the Morgana.
All right, let's take a look at game number 1 coming through. And you are right, Remake will be playing the Morgana. And so 2 mages in the bot side trying to hold out, buy some time for the rest of his team. So a lot of focus here on Zero, a lot of focus onto Long.
Grandin, I did miss that. I missed hearing you say you're right. Haven't costed with you in a while, and that's the first thing I hear today. Really starts off my day, right?
We'll hope to see one of these 2 teams start the day off right as well.
One of them definitely will.
Nova made a claim, said this is a 3-0 day for them.
Mid lane already starting off with some fighting. Nian burned the exhaust and Zero burned the barrier here. But we do see the Jay starting to get a bit of control in the lane. That's what should happen here. But he shouldn't be able to do too much with it because his jungler is a little bit slower.
I think both sides will take a little bit longer. I think first initiative might be had by Long, but for the most part, I don't see teams really trying to take aggressive moves before they hit those big ultimates, right? You think about a lot of the team identity, it comes from having those big ultimates, these big
He loses this though.
He's in a bad trade here.
Yeah, really good trade coming in from Mattel. He's wasting his sweeping kick, burning the Ignite, and still losing the trade there. Big dub for Rattel.
And Yami with an interesting move towards the top side, trying to get some vision. You know, he did this towards the bot side as well.
They're going to 3-man the rip buff right now. So Iza doesn't care about the trait. He wants the tempo. He wants to push out his wave so they can 4-man on Doe's rip buff. Look at this. They're just stopping Doe from farming.
But Doe does have vision of this. So Long will be spotted out, but the smite is available, so it gives a lot more help over the Long. Doe's by the side. Knows he needs to be able to jump out if the time comes. Gets out in time. The Wild starts to move in. The body slam used early. Iza's going to get first rotation over. A little bit late that is Rattel joining in the team now. But it's not looking so good. He's been spotted out. He has to flash over the wall. Long chases after. Nomel by the side gets the flash body step. And it's Roster Y with first blood as Zero flashes away from Yami.
A big skirmish there, but it turns out to be Roster Y that win that one. It's a little bit baffling to me. So many things went wrong for Nova in the setup. They got a bit too greedy. Long too much damage from Zero in the mid lane. That whole series of events, it's just a bit baffling, isn't it, Grandin? Both of these teams looking a bit sloppy to start things off.
That was the first kill in the knockout stages.
And what a way to have it.
What a way to
start
get
this
it.
one off. D-Gon started this by saying, these teams have hands. And the teams responded by saying, yeah, but sometimes we play without our brains.
That's rude.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to see a replay of that one because the series of events was so odd right there. It turned out Iza did indeed not care about the trade. He just really wanted to force wave cryo. But as a result of that, Rattel has the HP advantage. Rattel baited long in to dive over the wall. And Nomel, credit to him, he was in the right place at the right time. I've been saying, you guys maybe give Nomel a little bit too much credit. But at least in game 1 of this series, he's showing why he's been deserving all that credit.
Yeah, that's just one off strong. I will say it is a little bit interesting. Rolster Y do manage to keep up in gold, but the gold distribution is a little bit strange.
Yeah,
a good
right on
part
your
of that
support.
is going to be on Noel, right? So.
Yeah.
Not so much in the mid side, not so much on the jungler, but honestly, not a huge loss. It doesn't come up to be a full component.
Here's something to think about, right? If you're playing a support, first kill or like early kills on support is actually pretty good because
Yeah, it's
support
big
time
value,
a lot of
actually.
fights.
You get a lot more. You get a lot more items. You get to run in quickly.
Look at
You see
Nomel.
the rocket belt is already completed. Pro belt here for Nomel because he did manage to get that early kill, whereas Yami does not manage to pick up a blue enchantment for himself.
Yeah, early power spike timings on supports can be so effective. If you get a proto belt, if you get a gargoyles, you can be so efficient in some of the early skirmishes, especially pre-objective spawn timing, pre-5 minutes. If you take a fight, you have a proto belt, you have a gargoyles, you're infinitely stronger than your counterpart. Nomel was strong there, but they opted not to take the fight because Nian had mid-prio, so they just backed away.
I love what's happening here by Nova, right? Yami's leading the way, Long is right behind him. They are pulling Rolster Y around the map. Noel, granted, is matching well, but it's Nova that determine the pace.
Nova do indeed determine the pace. They have that Lee Sin, and that's what they're playing around. But it's our favorite point in the game, Brandon. It's the mid laners getting Hellbreaker and piecing out to the side lanes.
Oh, yeah.
Point in time right now.
Favorite part of the game.
Yeah, best part of the game. And we start seeing the handshake between Remake and Luna, the Ziggs.
Second best part of the game
What is the second best part of the game?
is when Corki picks up the package, but has the Hellbreaker, so he's in the side lane with package, going, guys, I can join it. No, split push. No, guys, I can definitely fight here. You know what? It's too late. My package is expiring. I'm gonna pop it for lane pressure, you know?
It's something we see a bit too often, but with the 8 best teams in the world here, I think maybe we start seeing that a little bit less. Okay, Gargoyles gets completed for Yami right now. I like that play from him, burning away the Blast Cone. What objective will Nova go for here? I do believe they're posturing towards the Herald. WRL loves that, gives them so much tempo on the map, especially if you have a Camille. Camille, Lee, Herald, that's one tower gone.
They're gonna start up the Rift Herald. Yeah, Nova do want to pick this
No
one
trades,
up for
Brandon. We're
themselves.
gonna see a fight.
Especially against the Ziggs, helps them so much.
Corki has not picked up the package. He would not be coming, but it's gone.
Yeah, it's really far away from the fight. They try and jump in.
He gets
Stealing
it.
it away is Noel doing an amazing job here for Roster Y. Do goes down. He's gone a little bit too aggressive. Dragon's Rage away from Long. Noel has to flash away. A big cyclone from Rattel. He tries to flash over the wall. Second knockup, not dead available. Long still alive after the exchange.
Rattel had the second charge of the Cyclone, but because of the forced downtime, he was not able to spin to knock Lee out of the kick. That could have turned around for Roster Y, but it all starts off with them punishing Do, picking him off early, and it was Luna and Nomel with the double artillery barrage that takes out the Rift Herald at the end there.
How low does this go?
Really low. Look, because the Ziggs out comes in and the Gragas out comes in. They spike it at the same time while Long is disabled. But as a result of that, Do jumps in too deep. He tries too hard to spike it, and he gets bursted out. See, Rattel
there
here,
we go.
so close.
If he just had enough time for the secondary cyclone.
Fraction of a second away, frankly, but it didn't pan out for them at the end of that one.
All right, either way, Rift Herald picked up here for Roster Y.
Oh, man, but this is big for Nova because they still have the package. They didn't move Nian around. They found a solution to what you were talking about. Corki in the silent with Hellbreaker, you can't join the first fight. Fine, pick up the package for the second fight here.
Dragons are up here by Roster Y. It's a little far away, and so it looks like Roster will be the ones to pick this objective up. Unless Long is able to find a steal, he goes into the pit, it still goes over the Do. Long uses flash last fight around. This time around, still gets the Dragon's Rage to kick away. Package comes through. Nian taking damage. Look at how low they are in the pit. One more auto attack to do it. Zero with a pickup kill. A second onto Yami. Roster Y trade back beautifully.
Really great job from Roster Y in a lot of these fights right now. They will not, they will have the Rift Herald. They will be able to take the mid lane down with Rift Herald plus Central Charge. But first turret goes over to Yeezer. And this is what the WRL teams do so well. You might think you win the fight, but they're always taking something on the other side of the map. Turret does not go down because of Yeezer.
Yeah, Iza coming with the flank means that the Ziggs won't be able to hit the Satchel Charge to take down the turret. Rolster, I think, are going to be happy with this exchange nonetheless. They should be getting pretty close to the turret pickup. Exhaust here on the 0. And we see here this side lane matchup when you have 2 Howlbreakers and the exhaust on the end. It's a brutal slow death. Auto-attacking and auto-attacking his way away.
You know, we always see the tanks in the side lane, and we call that a wet noodle fight. But when you have double Howlbreaker in the side lane, pretty much gives you the same end result as well.
Sure.
Yeah, that's my point. That's it.
Sure.
Redemption being picked up. We're starting to see some power spikes come in. I'm liking this new trend of Baron laners picking up the Redemption, especially on something like a Camille, where you're going to be side laning a lot, where you're going to be finding angles to join the fight a lot. It gives you a way to really be useful to your team while you do that.
I see how it is.
Yeah, but the difference, Grandin, is that you built. Hear this out, okay, audience? Think about this the next time you listen to Grandin casting. He built a Redemption on Draven in one of my games.
It's a good item.
To be fair, he stole the Elden and we won the Dream, but look at Doe.
Nice pickup on the Doe. This is the response we need to see from Nova, but the flash up for the Kha'Zix. Doe gets away.
Okay, that was a really nice attempt at the combo there from Long. Problem is, he didn't buffer the Q at the right time. He went for Q kick. Ideal was there though, really close to taking Doe down at the end of that one. I like the aggressiveness coming in from the side of Nova, and I think it's the point in the game where we start talking about the scaling factor here. Both of these teams have scaling, but I think if we go truly late game, Nova will have the edge. It's just that Rolster Y will have a timing in the mid game, maybe a minute or 2 down the line when the next Dragon spawns, when they're really strong.
Ratel not in the best spot here. Hextech ultimate, and they do manage to spot out Ratel. Again, secondary Cyclone a ways away, not able to keep up with the move speed from Ita. Ita gets out.
Nomel was a bit antsy there. He didn't wait for the secondary Cyclone to come in. He was worried about Ratel's life, and that knocked Iza out of the secondary Cyclone, so he wasn't knocked up twice.
Undoubtedly some nerves in play here.
Yeah, that happens for sure.
But not the biggest loss. You know, it is potentially 1 kill, but that is just 1 kill. I want to talk a little bit about Rolster Y's journey up until this point, because it seems like as they play off against better and better teams, they seem to get more comfortable.
They do. They've truly been leveling up as the tournament progresses, but this will be a big challenge for them right now. Second Rift Herald getting started off. Package is available for Nian. He's going to be very scary here.
Facing off against what might just be the best jungler in the Icons Global Championship. They lead off again of a kill, going over the remake, taking down Doe. No response here from Zero. The second Rift Herald goes down, and over to Nova Esports.
Perfection in execution coming in from Nova. Yummy and Long, they identified exactly what they needed to do. This is why the WRL teams are so good sometimes. The killer instinct, the snap decision making coming in from Yami and Long right there to one-shot Doe the moment he overstepped.
You use Rift Herald on my mid-lane turret, I use it on yours. Nova Esports trade back, tit for tat.
Yeah. And you're gonna have Nova possibly taking the bot lane tier 1 here as well. Yeezer and Nian in the wings.
There we go. That's the Redemption. Power Redemption.
Like that.
This is why I built Redemption on Draven.
Never thought about that one, actually. Using it to buff up the creeps, giving them a little bit more health so you get a couple more knocks on the turret. Good play coming in there from Yeezer.
So Nova will pick up their second turret of the game, and that's going to be the main bulk of their goal difference in this game so far. I mean, kills pretty even. Most of the trades have been pretty even. A big difference would be on Long, I suppose.
But Nova's going to be very happy for sure, right? Long is definitely a part of it, but if you look at Yeezer, this is the scaling factor that we talked about. This Camille is going to be the late game win condition of Nova, and he already has close to a 2,000 gold lead over Ratel, and it's not going to get any better. This is a matchup which will favor Camille more and more as the game goes on. And you talked about Rolster Y in their journey here, how they look a little bit more comfortable every time they play. I want to talk about Nova in their journey here. I want to specifically talk about their matchup against Team Flash, which we pegged as the best non-WRL team coming to this, right?
Sure.
Nova had a very clear game plan going to the series against Flash. They said, we just need to shut down their jungler Zissou, and we're good to go. This game as well, they have a very clear game plan. Doe arguably is a weaker jungler than Zissou, and every time he's made a misstep, Nova have been right on top of him, not letting him play the game, and they're looking to do it here again around the Dragon.
I mean, the crowd control on the Lee Sin, for it being only 1 spell, is a massive spell to have.
Yeah.
And Long finds absolute highest value on it in every single instance. And when he does not, that's when Nova don't win the fight.
Yeah.
And so you can very clearly tell when Nova are going to have a good fight by how good Long's ultimate and his presence in the fight is going to be.
Yeah, the team just has very good timing at playing around Long. When Long goes in, Yummy will go in like this.
I love the positioning here from
Fantastic.
Nova. Yummy leads the charge in. A 3-man knock up to start off the fight. You have Zero isolated over by the side. Iza dives in a little bit too far. Gets caught out. A kill goes over to Ratel. Now the response back from Rolster Y. They want to fight, but Nova too slippery to catch.
This is all Luna, by the way. away. Every play has been Luna saving the day. He might not be playing Lucian, he might not be playing Vayne, but that's why I love this guy. He doesn't need to play these champions. Did you see his Ziggs Infernal Bomb there? He single-handedly saved the day for his team.
Silently impactful. Nomel over by the side, trying to block out Long. Long picks up the Black Shield. Once again into the pit, he goes in. Once again, it's Noah that secures it. Yami dives in, 0 with the final auto attack to take down Long despite the flash.
Do you know why he's called the Son of the Dragon, Grandin? Because in the WRL, Long has one of the highest percentages for Dragon steals, Herald steals, Baron steals, Objective steals. Right now, he's tried twice against Dole. Even 3 times if you count the first Herald, right?
Sure.
He has been getting outsmited every single time. Rolster Y off to a fantastic start here in Game 1.
Nomel even stole it with his, I think, ultimate?
Yeah, it was Nomel's out and Luna's out, chained at the same time.
Like, my goodness. Just a ridiculous chain of events. I feel you can really tell the pressure on Long right now.
Yeah.
And it's like we mentioned, you know, when he's not present in a fight, doesn't have that much presence in a fight, they don't win the fight.
Yeah, that's exactly the case. And there is a reason he's feeling the pressure as well. He is playing the Lee Sin. He's been getting some fantastic kicks off, but you gotta keep in mind, he will get outscaled. The scaling factor on the side of Nova comes from Easer. It comes from Nian. Long will not be a strong factor as the game progresses. He has to look for plays now. He hasn't been able to find it. If you think back to the first play they went for, the topside jungle of Rolster Y, it's Long that dies giving up first blood. So he has not been off to a good start here, and I can understand why he's feeling the pressure a little bit.
What an interesting position here for Rolster Y, right? You have Long, who's actively looking for a play, and Yitzo, who is not actively looking for a play, but he's very far ahead.
Yeah.
Right? He's very far ahead over Rattel, and so if he goes off to the side lane, he just gets so much work done.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit strange now because Nova, they want to have the Camille come in, but they also want to have a side lane split pusher. It's so awkward.
I think they can do it all. I think at this point, Nova, they can have their cake and eat it too. Not necessarily right now, but very soon. Once the Blade of the Ruined King completes, like right now, Iza can do anything he wants on the side lane. I don't think any one champion is enough to stop him. With that in mind, he should get perma priority, and if he has perma priority, look for Iza on the Camille to come in at the side around the flanks every single team fight. Look at the EXP lead he has over Rattel right now.
Of course, Baron is the next objective, or rather the only objective up on the map right now. And so both sides are looking to see if there's any opportunity to steal it away, if to sneak it out. I think Nova noticed that as well, and so do not want to give Rolster Y that space. Next one, though, Elder Inferno. Rolster Y picked that one up. I think they're in very good position to win the game.
They're in a really good position to win the game also because of their team comp, right? Elder's amazing. But with the poke comp that they have, Elder Inferno is basically a one-shot around Luna. They want to jump Dole, but the backup is here from Rolster Y. Really good presence of mind from this team right now. I'm very impressed with what we're seeing from Rolster Y in this Game 1, Grandin.
Looking fully refreshed coming into knockouts. The few days they've had off look very good for them.
Yeah, frankly, think about the journey that this team has had, right? They nearly got 2-0 by Immortals. Let's be real about that here, right? Immortals came very close to winning that series. Rolster Y held strong, pulled through, and now they're taking a lead against one of the best WRL teams in the form of Nova.
I was going to say, it's a good thing we don't have any NA casters on right now. But I think Digon kind of counts.
Yeah, Digon counts. He's had a lot of hopium.
Sure. And a very interesting series between Immortals where Rolster Y were able to hold on and turn it around.
Yes.
But now in a different position, right? Now Rolster Y, they're kind of in an even position. You could even say they are in the lead sometimes.
I'd say they have a lead, yeah.
You know?
I'd say they have a lead, but they have a pressure to extend that lead, to secure that dragon. Because if the game state goes on as it is right now, Nova will come to a point where Iza and Nian will just completely take over the game. But Rolster Y do not have a poor late game as well. Keep in mind how they won that series against Immortals. They held on in the late game, their macro was good, they knew how to play the map. And that's what they need in this game if it continues the way it is.
I really do like that Zero is picking up some damage now finally here as well. So often the side lane or in the team fight, you know, he's going to be able to do more, have more impact.
Yeah, Cerulda's Grudge is a very big power spike for that Jace. Every shock blast you land does a lot of damage, slows your opponents down. Luna on a big power spike timing as well. 3 items on that Zig. Seraphs is completed, has the death cap. But if you look at Iza, man, his build just gets scarier and scarier. The moment he finishes the... I do believe Spirit Visage is what he's going for. He's going to be hard to kill. He's going to be healing a ton. Just going to be a menace in general.
Sure. Spectre's count. I think it is going to be a Spirit Visage. And once he picks that up, makes it easy for him to deal with Luna. That being said, no clear-cut assassin for Nova Esports, so difficult to dive that back. I think Luna is still relatively
you
safe.
say that, but I think Long is the assassin here. He needs to find... So the way he's been playing out the game is he's been trying to win 5v5s, right? He's just been trying to get a big kick on one target, knock up multiple, and just let his team play out that way. It's not a bad way to play the game for sure, but if he gets a pick onto Zero or Luna, that could be very scary for the side of Rolster Y as well. Good job from Rolster Y. They've drawn their battle lines very well. They've not allowed Long an angle, but I want to just look at Iza's build. I want to talk about how great it is that he has the Spectre's Cowl and a Chain Vest. He understands that this fight is do or die. Components are not going to help you. Just get raw stats right now. And if you win this fight, you win the game.
Turret down here for Rolster Y, offering them a little bit more space in the mid lane and around
this is the flank
map.
that we're talking about. Look at Long.
Long's looking for this back line. Luna very
Rolster
far
Y
away.
is so smart.
Very intelligently discover Long's position in their own jungle. I would have never noticed that, I'm sure. And so it is a very good sign to see here for Nova. Maybe
They want Doe.
if they're able to pick up Doe, versus the team coming quickly here to try and respond, try and keep their junglers safe. But of course, Guardian Angel up for Doe.
But that's kicked used, and that's the biggest team fighting tool from Long. That's huge as well. Things are looking good for Rolster Y, Grandin.
Remake taking a lot of damage.
They have the inside track of mid lane. They're going to shove in this wave. They're going to dance the dragon, and if Rolster Y don't respond, they lose mid lane tier 2.
You have two places for pressure. Iza off by the side, might be the
Fantastic
spot out. Noel pulling attention away from the
Wow.
Camille, so they have no way to stop the turret from going down. Rolster Y with the turret pickup, but Noel now in danger. Needs to start dashing away. Uses the body slam away and towards his own team. Nova Esports cannot pursue.
Okay, but Iza, he's created a lot of chaos right now. He's chunked out some members on the side of Rolster Y, and
What's
that's
happening
the
here?
cue. Nova are going to start it off.
In the fog of war, Nova Esports start up the dragon. Rolster Y coming in now. They're going to get some information. Nice knockback onto Yami.
dead, it's
Yami hoping
dead.
to come in. The dragon's going to go down. It goes over to Nova first. Rolster Y looking for the first kill of the fight, trying to find something back. Trade back for the efforts for the lost objective. Iza's still alive, so very tanky. The Camille so strong. Guardian Angel comes across all by the backline. Rolster Y have still yet to finish off a second target. Remake might go down, but he once again goes golden. Long coming in now.
Wow.
The response here as the Dark Binding lands onto Noel. Noel falls. Rolster Y sent back, and it's Nova with 2 kills and the other Drake.
Nova get the Elder, they get the kills. No, Long once more, but he's not going to be able to get anything here.
Absolutely once more, but it's Rolster Y to get to go away.
man.
Nova will have to be content with the pickups they've got.
They're definitely not content, I can tell you that much. Look at their faces. They knew they messed up. They knew they had it in the back. But any little slip-up against a team like Nova, and they will punish you for it. What's the mistake here? Nomel overextended. That's it. That's literally the only mistake here. And the killer instinct coming in from Nova. They call it immediately. Let's start this dragon off. They do not have the Ziggs ultimate to check this, to chunk us out, and they're low on health. The fight starts. It looks good for Rolster Y, but it doesn't matter because Nova already has the dragon. And look at how they play out this following team fight. They just kite it out so well. The push and pull from Nova's team fighting here. Just dancing around Rolster Y.
And honestly, being able to keep Remake alive for so long with the utilities still up, and then you see him use his Hourglass, so many of those in this fight. Long's Guardian Angel is still up, by the way.
Yeah, the timings on the Hourglasses are fantastic from Remake and Long. They Hourglass at the right time, in the right place, so that their teammates can follow up and keep them safe.
Perhaps
and look at Nian, he's scaling's online.
Perhaps one of the closest games we've had in the Icon
Yeah,
Global
you're
Championship
right.
so far. 2 incredibly strong teams playing it out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's such a heartbreaker for Rolster Y if they don't manage to close out on this game. But with Nova having the Elder in their back pocket, Elder Inferno at that, I'm definitely going to say their favorite right now, especially considering the Camille factor, the Corki factor. They're not going to be falling off. They're going to keep scaling as the game goes on. GA now completed from Iza. You couldn't even kill him once before. Rolster Y, you're rapidly running out of options. Remember what we said at the start here. You cannot fall behind on a comp like this. And they've fallen behind.
I do believe the GA is down for Iza, and so there's a
It's up,
very
it's up. He
tiny
just got
window.
it. He just got it.
Okay.
Trust me.
They have a window to where they have to take down Iza.
Yeah.
And then move on to the next target. I think Rattel.
Wow. But look at the damage coming in from Nian as well. The Corki's online too, so you take down Iza, then you have to worry about the Corki, you have to worry about Nian.
Difficulty taking down Iza the first time around, and now with the Guardian Angel, you can see how confident Iza's able to play, pick up the target for himself.
We're basically at the point in the game where Camille can 1v2 on a side. You have to send 3 members if you want to shut him down. And that is such a heartbreaker, because if Rolster Y send 3 members down to deal with Iza, they're gonna lose the Baron. It's just stuck between a rock and hard place right now, frankly.
Have to try and force a fight, but it's going to be difficult to do that too. The package is used now, so maybe a fight started here for Rolster Y could turn out favorable, but still going to be very difficult. You have to be so wary of every engage you try and trade.
But look at how scat they're playing. Look at the map right now. Do you see any red wards? Not one on the map. The entire map belongs to Nova. The vision line belongs to Nova. They even had that little ward there by the Wolf Camp, so anyone going to gank Iza, he would know about it. This is just fantastic execution from Nova, and this is why we say the game's not over against a WRL team until you kill the Nexus. Any little slip up you make, and they will claw themselves back into the lead.
Securing that late game, Nova just have to finish this one off. Pick up the Baron, shove in the lanes, let Iza do his thing.
Yeah, he's full build right now. This Camille does not get any stronger. He's gonna run the show. Full build on Long as well. That's a little bit less intimidating, but still.
Perhaps here with Zero might be able to find some respite against Iza. The fact that he has the Hullbreaker in a side lane against the Camille, maybe that's what Rolster Y have to do.
Yeah, the Hullbreaker is gonna help him a little bit, but the moment Iza kicks him once in his face, he's basically gonna lose half his health. It's such a tough situation to be in. This is a little respite here for the side of Rolster Y. Being able to sneak away that Scuttle Crab gives them some breathing room. But that's only for a minute. You're gonna be in trouble again soon.
Gives him a little bit of vision for now.
Look at that kick. That's what we talked about, right?
Very quickly, the amount of damage coming across the catch-up.
Oh,
the catch on the Luna. Those not to walk in. Nomel can only watch as the Ziggs gets taken down, trying to trade back, but taking down Long. But Long, again, has his Hourglass. And so you see, once again, very difficult time taking him down.
No SGA here.
Still a lot of damage coming in through. The exhaust lands onto Noel. Noel has to flash away, dodge away from the Dark Binding. Rolster Y only get the Guardian Angel from Long.
You can sense the frustration right now coming out from the side of Rolster Y. So many members keep dropping so low on the side of Nova, but you can never finish off the kills. You can never convert on the kills and the play. They're just so good at kiting out the team fights. And you look at the gold graph. The moment Nova got a lead, they just ran away with it. Fantastic play coming in from Long. That's what we talked about as well, right? You just need to find the one kick onto Luna, and when you do, the world becomes your oyster. Like this.
Good part is, I suppose, that Rolster Y had never allowed Nova to extend their lead too far, but now, reaching a strong point, couple of members with full builds on the side of Nova, Rolster Y clamoring, trying to keep up.
Okay, the game right now is firmly in the pockets of Nova. They would have to make a mistake to lose the game at this point, but what can Rolster Y do? I think it's desperation, but they need to find a way to kill Iza. If you're gonna ask me how can they kill Iza, I could not give you an answer, but they have to find a way.
Maybe it's in the side lane, maybe it's in Zero, but you can see how difficult that's going to be. The redemption comes through. Precision, protocol, and tactical sweep. A combo enough to take down Zero. The Guardian Angel gone so quickly. This is an unfair fight, Obo.
It's always gonna be unfair. Look at this. Challenger number 2 appears and he just gets kicked.
Turret going down soon. Rolster Y need to find a response to try and stop this. Nian taking damage here. The response from Rolster Y is to send Luna to the bot side.
Look at the top half of the map though. The moment Rolster Y send members down, full control from Nova. They take over your entire top half jungle now. And they say, Rolster Y, if you walk into us, we're gonna have to throw some hands. Okay, no, we're not. We're just chilling.
Maybe they're gonna catch on to Luna.
Luna smartly just gets out of the situation there. The moment he gets tagged by the Sonic Wave, will satchel himself out. Zero has a bit of damage right now, but he's not exactly scaling. Jace is not a late game champion. His power spike is over. If he gets sent to deal with Iza, it's just such a tough situation for Rolster Y. I just wouldn't, it's not enviable at all. If you send Zero, he's gonna die. If you send Rattel, you lose one of your biggest team fighting tools. What do you do at this point?
Looks like they send Rattel.
Okay, and no Maladat.
2 members to try and deal with the Camille, but you can see the vision provided here by that wall means Ethan knows that he needs to start moving away. Nova getting control around the Baron once again, though forced off.
And now comes the Baron Duns, right? This entire series of events now. Let's just see how Nova is gonna try to choke out Rolster Y. Remember what I said, Grandin, 2 members can no longer kill Iza. You need to bring 3.
Yami's right there. Noel picks up the damage reduction first. Dodges away with the body slam.
Okay, that just happened. Nomel gets out alive, but he gets chunked out a little bit here.
Luna knows he needs to poke them out. He needs to do some damage over time. Give Rolster Y some breathing space, but it's so difficult.
He's doing his best. He really is doing his best with the bombs now, but it's just not enough. Maybe if they got the Elder, the situation the game is in would be different. But Nova, they don't feel pressured. They know the longer this goes on, every minute that passes is another kick that Iza gets on the turret. The war of attrition will always favor Nova. So they don't feel pressure to start the fight.
The score is 6-6, but it does not reflect that now as Nova have been slowly accruing a lead for themselves. Through the past couple minutes, once that Elder Drake had gone over, it just has not been Rolster Y's game.
And just like that, they see Doe on the other side of the map, and he started the Baron. It's so low.
Once again, the fog of war, they have no idea this is happening. The Baron going down.
Okay, never
but
mind.
It's been reset. Nova do not want to fight for this one. Do not want to run the risk of game one going the way of a coin flip.
The patience coming in from Nova, it's respectable for sure, but I feel like they can afford to take a little bit more risk. You are so strong right now, but I agree with what you said. Nova, they don't want to lose a single game. They came in saying, we are going to trio today.
Quickly trying to find a fight onto Remake. Remake's Black Shield popped and taken away. Yami over by the back. So tanky still. Iza's still alive, comes through. The knock of the Cyclone won't do much work, not against them. Flashing forward, trying to find a knockback here. The Guardian Angel finally gets burned here for the Camille. Long joins into the fight. A little bit late in.
Package is here.
But Nova will still be able to force Rolster Y away.
Iza so close there with the Buffett hookshot flash to taking down Doe. And if he takes down Doe, you know what that spells. That's going to be Baron gone.
Yeah, quickly goes in, trying to take down Zero. Zero needs to flash away, use his barrier as well. Both summoners burnt the moment Yan moves in.
Every mistake you make, Nova will capitalize. They will punish you. You can't afford to make a single mistake, and that's so difficult in these late game scenarios where you just don't know what to do, frankly. You get drawn between the Baron, between the bot lane turret, and Iza, look at where he is right now. He has one job. He goes back down there. He's going to kick the turret once more. It's going to fall, and the game is going to start to fall apart for Rolster Y. Closing in on 30 minutes right now. Full builds on basically everyone.
I love what's happening here on both sides, right? Once your Guardian Angel is down, switch over to Star's Gauge. When your Star's Gauge is down, switch over to the Guardian Angel.
Yeah, really good point.
You can see here from Zero, he now has a GA. Unfortunately, I don't think he does that much for him. But Iza doesn't have it on his, so
they have to kill him here
to take down the Camille. But of course, you have the hook shot. So easy to dash away.
Camille just starts a fight right now. Just force a fight on Zero.
Baron going. Doe so far, he has to run over quickly, but it's not going to be in time. Trying to steal it away, but Nova are able to secure it. You will not be able to take the major objectives away from
Remake
Long.
is dead.
Rolster Y still trying to fight by the backline. Long taking down Luna, finishing off Ratel. Iza joins in the fight now. He's fighting 1 versus 3, but he deals with them so easily. Rolster Y losing 3 members, a 4th in the form of Noel. And with Nova running them down, chasing after a kill, it looks like Nova's predictions might just be right, Omo.
3-0 is a real possibility right now. It looks like Nova. That was a game that Rolster was controlling from the start, from the first skirmish and the dragon on the top lane. But the moment you slip up, you make one mistake. Nova playing around long, they just capitalize and they go in for the end. 30 minutes in.
And Rolster Y play out a slow end game, giving space to Nova. Nova capitalized, picking up game number 1 in their favor.
What a fantastic game coming in from Nova. What restraint coming in from Nova. I expected the Camille to be how they won the game, but Nova says, no, we have multiple ways to win the game. And Yami, the man you just saw on your screen as well, I think he was an essential part of the game. His engages, his picks onto Doe, onto Luna, were a big part of why they won that one.
Of course, Nova doing an amazing job with the game win. Long picking up both the Elder Drake and the Baron towards the end there. And when it comes down to your major objectives, there's no way you're taking those away from him. But Rolster Y also with a very good start
showing,
to the game, right? A good showing and something that it looks like they've been preparing for going up against teams like Nova. It seems like they have a game plan in mind.
Frankly, I'm very impressed with how Rolster Y played that first game out. I thought they genuinely had a chance in it for a lot of the game. The problem ensued when it came to the Elder Dragon flip, and you can't afford to make these mistakes. Then you start thinking, that's how you problem solve, right? What do we do with the next game then? And I think the answer for that on the side of Rolster Y is you need to have a bit more scaling, because that's how they lost game 1.
I think we're looking back at that Wukong, the last pick Wukong, that might have been a bit of an issue for them, right? They had a lot of team fighting potential, but once Iza was off in the side lane doing his thing, nothing could stop him, and you saw that here from Ratel.
You needed a Shen, I think, in this angle. It's not the best pick. You still get side lane to death, but you need something which can deal with the Camille and then try to save your team when you get dived in on.
All right, a good start here for Nova, but still a chance here for Rolster. We'll have to see what analyst Deacon has to say about this with the rest of the desk. Something to look forward to, I'm sure. Deacon, you said they have hands, right? Am I right? They have hands.
Analyst Deacon?
They have hands. It's pretty good hands. Not a lot of late game brains, though, because that game was pretty late. But if you send your jungler to the bottom side of the map, what's the other team going to do?
Take Baron.
They're going to take Baron!
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, hey, all right.
And this was, I believe, the longest game of Wild Rift that we've had so far here at Icons 2022 at just over 30 minutes. That is, you know, it's very quick PC game, I guess, almost. But Stuart, you know, you wanted to highlight this from the very beginning. The moment we saw Long on Lee Sin, we knew it was going to be a very interesting game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think Digon mentioned it. I think Lee Sin has been banned in every single game so far against Nova, against Long. But to be honest, Long on this Lee Sin didn't really look that comfortable. But maybe that's because he hasn't had as much practice on the Lee Sin. You know, his early aggression just didn't really pay off, and you can see here as well.
Right, this was the first blood, and this was something that kept happening to him within the first 15 minutes before we got to the long, drawn-out stall here. There were multiple opportunities for Long on Lee Sin to really snowball the lead and drive Nova ahead, and he just missed. He missed several of his combos. He's dashing first before he threw out the Q.
Yep.
And I think the guys on the caster desk called it out, but I don't think they were as harsh as they should have been when we're talking about the WRL MVP.
Yep.
We're talking about the guy that has this champ banned away. Like, if you're Rolster Y, this is the best you could ask for when the, not one trick, but the best champ in a repertoire for the jungler gets taken away, and he doesn't perform super well on it in terms of transitioning to kills, but he was still 2,000 gold up on Doe, who is having a stinker of a game right now.
Yeah, I think Long, even he got a few kills in the early game, even though he did like misplay. I think Nomel did pretty decent, even though his mid and late game was a little bit shaky. I think the early game aggression from Nomel kind of matching the way that Long was trying to play. But like I said, it's a completely different play style to what he's used to playing in the Icon stage. You know, he's played Jax, he's played Kha'Zix, these scaling champions that just farm up a lot early game, and that's kind of what Long's been doing. He's just been farming up, waiting to the mid and late game, and that's where a power spike starts. But you can't do that on Lee Sin. You can't just farm up because Lee Sin is a champion. You need that early game lead. You need to get them early game advantages, which they tried to do. They tried to roam around as a team, but they weren't really getting the advantages they were looking for.
Yeah, it was really ironic when it looked like it was Long versus Nomel at one point in the very early game, but eventually, as we can see, Nova Esports did pull through. And Stuart, you wanted to bring this up as well. Rattel didn't have a very good game.
Yeah, I think there was a point where Rattel had like 2 kills. You'd say had 0, but he was still like 1,500 gold behind. I think the laning phase for Rattel was very, very weak. I think Wukong is just a champion that doesn't really suit him. I think when you come from the Horizon Cup and you see Rattel at the Horizon Cup, he used to playing these carries up in the Baron lane, but now the meta has kind of shifted a little bit. You know, we're seeing a lot more like Wukong, Shen, these a lot more tanky champions. Even Camille's really building a lot more tanky now as well, and that's not really suiting Rattel's playstyle, but I also think that there's a level of a step up now from Icons from obviously Horizon Cup last year.
Right, and a lot of that was a concerted effort by Rolster to start roaming after the first Herald. Once they did that, I think Rattel was down on the bottom side of the map trying to engage with the Wukong, but on the top side, Iza was like, thank you very much. I'm on Camille. You can't fight me now. You're definitely not going to be able to fight me later.
Yep.
So go ahead and try to find picks, and our team will play safe. So big props there to Remake backing up, finding, understanding that, hey, look, as much as I want these minions, not worth it because my top laner, who's a much larger win condition for the squad right now, especially because Long isn't snowballing the way that we're used to him snowballing, is getting ahead. So that's fine. And we saw later on how much Camille was able to do damage on the side lane. It was crazy.
Yeah, and you mentioned, Deacon, about Nova playing a little bit safer. You guys mentioned that this is a little bit of a different play style from what we've seen in the group stages and in the play-ins for Nova Esports.
So there's 2 schools of thought here that I think you can take. It could be one, they're playing slower because it's knockouts, best of 3 or best of 5. You're no longer, you don't have that safety net of going down to a loser's bracket to like qualify. But I think it's more, we got to see what it was like when Long is the driver for this team and he's struggling, right? Like, yes, he was still ahead. yes, they had the gold lead through Iza against Rattel, and he had the gold lead over Doe. I don't know how much they knew that, but he wasn't coming off in terms of the plays that he was that were supposed to happen, and so therefore I think they played a little bit slower because of that. Also, he wasn't on a big scaling champion that we've seen him multiple times, like a Jax, like an Echo. So later on, his power then is to set up for someone else, and he wasn't doing that as well as we've seen in the past.
I think he was trying to go for plays. There was a play that which we really laughed at was when he was like, he W'd over the wall and then he instantly flashed it. It looks really weird, like the transition. Then he tried to Q and he tried to first ability. He tried to dash and dip and dive, but it just wasn't really working out for him. Like, I feel like he was going for these plays, these mid and late game plays, even though he's on a champion that's kind of known for the early game.
Sure.
He was still trying to go for the plays. He caught out Luna in the mid lane once as well, got the kill onto Luna in the mid lane. So I think he is still finding these plays, even on an early game champion like Lee Sin. It's crazy.
Correct. And even in the Elder Dragon fight, if you go back to it again, remember Rolster took the dragon position, and then they forced down mid, got the tier 2 turret, and then Nomel got caught out, and that allowed Nova to go ahead and take the Elder Dragon. Before all that happened, he found Doe in the jungle and blew Doe's stasis. He still survived, but then Doe didn't have that stasis. Jump on in, try to contest for the Elder Dragon, and that was a major part of the latter half of this game. Again, we saw the gold graph where it was like, all right, kind of close. All right, they're kind of in the lead by like 1,000. All of a sudden, a big sharp up. That was because of the proactivity that Long still provided, even though there's so much more that he could be doing. That's so scary if you're playing this Nova squad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because this game lasted 30 minutes, and we actually saw that Nova Esports, they did have a little bit of a trickier time trying to siege Rolster Y. I want to ask Ashley Stewart if you think that there was at any point during maybe those last 5 minutes of the game, if Rolster Y could have made a comeback despite the massive gold lead of Nova Esports.
Yeah, I think it's difficult. I think when you mention in terms of sieging, I think when you're against champions like Ziggs and Jace, it's really hard to siege down towers because of the amount of wave clear that Rolster Y has. And I think that's kind of how Nova found it difficult. But I think they just were trying to stay back. They were trying to play passive. They were not really taking as many risks as we're used to seeing from Nova and from Long as well. But I think that there are points of the game where you thought, Rolster Y, they were doing well in team fights. The team fights were actually looking pretty good, even though they were down the Elder Dragon, because Nova didn't have any other dragons to really back up the Elder Dragon. But I think when you go back to that point kind of at the end of the game where you'd say is split pushing up in the Baron lane, and then Doe goes up to the Baron lane, and then they just instantly get Baron. And then at that point, you kind of feel like for Rolster, it's just a little bit decision making there. It's like you can't make them mistakes.
Yeah, I think they got antsy. And if you're Rolster Y, your window of opportunity, which is what the casters were hitting, was being ahead and forcing Nova under towers and allowing you to siege.
Yeah.
That no longer is the game plan. So you need to change your game plan. In this case, it's you have great siege defense. So keep allowing Nova to just extend this game with the composition where you have Ziggs, you have Jace, they have to walk into you. If they make a mistake, then you've got the Gragas to engage, where Nomel has been pretty great. He made one major kind of flub, which was around that Elder Dragon fight where he gets caught and then they have to kind of flash away. But other than that, he was the one face checking, dodging out counter engages to his face check, and then having pretty good engages, be comfortable in that position, in that late game position, and allow Nova, the aggressor team, to make the mistake. Instead, they get antsy, they're worried about losing the 1v1 on the Dragon lane, as you said, with the Camille, and then they get caught themselves. It's like a very, very easy decision for Nova to make. Long, the best jungler in the tournament, be like, oh, 2 bot, one of them is the jungler. Easy Baron call.
Yeah, it's an easy Baron call in the end. And when we go into draft as well, an interesting note is that Zero, the mid laner for Rolster Y, has picked a unique champion in every single game that they've played. I believe they played like 9 games in total, and he's picked a different champion every single time, which I think is crazy. For a player to come in and play so many different champions, like in terms of playstyle and everything as well. He's picked up the likes of Orianna, Jace as well. He has so many different playstyles.
What else could he possibly bring to the table, right?
That's what I'm wondering coming into this draft is like, is Zero going to bring out another unique champion?
Exactly. And how many other champions does he have up his pocket? Could this be the win for Rolster Y? That's actually what I wanted to ask. Now that Rolster Y actually came, quite close, I feel like Nova Esports did sweat a little bit during that game. What do you think Rolster Y have learned from Nova Esports? Can they apply that to game 2?
I think the one thing to mention already is that Rolster has already decided to go on blue side, and they switch up their bans completely. They're banning out Jax this time, they're banning out Ziggs. There's a lot of power picks that are open this time. Senna is up and... oh no, sorry, Senna's banned. My apologies. Varus is up and available. Singed is up and available, which was banned in the previous game. Lee Sin is up and available. Camille is another one as well, and they're putting a Rattel on a champion like Camille this time.
Yeah, so Rolster Y has played 3 series before this. One series was a 2-0 against Immortals. They played both sides. But then the series that they got to select side, which was the first series against Immortals, I believe, they selected blue side. They are more comfortable on that side. And boom, right here, what I love from Nova is that they take the 2 champs that Rolster Y have been banning the most in their draft, which is the Corki and the Jace, which is honestly why I thought Zero played Jace. It was a takeaway because if they haven't played it that much, they've been banning it every single time. But now they have to face both of them in the draft, and they feel like it's worth the Camille and whatever these next 2 picks are.
There's a
Singed, but if it's the Camille, I feel like this is just a trade for the Camille.
Another pick, though, is like the Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix hasn't been picked or banned yet. This is, you know, Doe's most played champion. Long's played it a bunch of times as well. But instead, Rolster are prioritizing the Varus, which Luna's performed very, very well on, and the Singed as well, which again is another champion that Zero has played very well. So the bans that were kind of in game number 1, Rolster are kind of taken away this time.
Yeah, and with the Varus, that is a champ they have both picked or banned. It is the most prioritied within this Rolster Y squad. Obviously, not as much as banning the Corki. Again, 7 times banned coming into today's matches. But with the Varus, it's been picked 4 times and banned 4 times. So now they're going with it for the 5th time here.
I find it interesting that there's not that much attention just yet given to Long. Of course, we knew that going into Nova Esports game, all eyes are on Long and everything. Now it seems like Rolster are a little bit more comfortable shifting around where they should be putting the pressure in this draft.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I agree. I do think that they probably should have gone and grabbed the Kha'Zix again for Doe, unless they feel like how we feel on the desk, where it's like, no, you're not doing so well on Kha'Zix. There is something to be said about comfort. You have comfort. Look, even the best jungler in the tournament, Long, looked uncomfortable on Lee Sin because he hasn't played Lee Sin.
Yeah.
Been perma-banned against him, and so maybe you could have gone there for Rolster Y. Now you're asking Doe to go deep into the pool.
Yeah, this is crazy. I think this is fine for Long because we've already seen that Long, he's been banned out so many times already, and he's got such a wide champion pool. But Doe, on the other hand, you know, what else can you play on the sides of Doe? You know, with Long, you still have, you know, Riven is another one that they could be. I mean, this could be flex, but I think it is most likely in the jungle for Long, because you'd think that Wukong, Baron lane, Jace mid lane, and Riven in the jungle. But that's another scary pick.
Yeah, and I feel like, you know, Nova Esports, they are ready to rumble indeed, just looking at the Wukong and the Riven coming in. So I'm wondering for Rolster why they are a very late game kind of team. I'm wondering what else they can possibly do to push, because Nova Esports, they seem like they're still prepared for that late game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is Nomel's most played champion set right now. The thing is with Doe is that Doe has only played Kha'Zix, Camille, Wukong, and Lee Sin. All of them are out. Like, you have to pick a new champion now for Doe, and that's going to be the last pick here. Unless he maybe goes on the Camille and Rattel gets another matchup in the Baron lane, but I think they're going to want to put Rattel on that Camille. But now what else do you play in the jungle? You're going really down the tier list now in terms of... And it is going to be, okay, so Rattel's just going to go back to a tank in the Baron lane, and it's going to be Doe on that Camille jungle. So flexing it to put Doe on a comfort pick, which is a Camille that he's played before.
But you just saw what Camille could have done against the Wukong, unless you're worried about Wukong getting flexed into the jungle. So I feel like Nova just really baffling Rolster Y here, and it's a lot of focus on the champ pool here for Doe. We're going down to, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 jungle bans by both squads, plus you take the Camille, so 6. And so it looks like, you know, that 6 was going to be Doe's anyways, and still it's a new champ here for Long. Long playing the Wukong. Okay, so it will be Wukong in the jungle. That he has played that one before.
Look at that, guys. It's Kangas on the stage. He's back. we thought he already went back to NA. Turns out he's right here, and he was just preparing for this particular game.
In game,
he was preparing, he was polishing his shield and stuff. But right now we are ready to jump into game 2. Grandin and Omo, over to you guys.
Promised us a 3-0. Let's see if they can deliver up until this moment. They are 1-0 up against Rolster Y. And Rolster Y in an interesting position here. They've gone the picks that they're most comfortable with, a composition that they're most comfortable with. Can they close this one out?
I think they have to, Grandin. I think with a comp like this, with 2 champions that were banned against them last game, they have the Singe, they have the Varus, they snatched the Camille, they have the Sat finally here on Nomel as well. This is about as good as it's gonna get here for Rolster Y. If you can't win with this team comp, Nova's prediction might just come true.
So let's see how they intend to get there in the first place. A lot of discussion was made on Do. How do you get Do into a good spot? He had issues with the Kazakhs, and now we need to see him pop off on the Camille. A champion that he has played before, but so much emphasis on the jungle, removing champion pools there really targets Do.
Yeah, and I think that targeting jungle pools is always going to work out for a team like Nova. They're so used to their jungler being targeted that if you go down that route, it seems that it's Do who ends up suffering.
As we move into the Rift, oh my goodness, oh, I'm so excited here. This is honestly an amazing chance here for Rolster Y to get the revenge. They were top 4 in the last competition in the Horizon Cup, but with less teams. And so now this is their chance to take down a WRL team, take down a team that could mean they get deep in the competition.
Yeah, they have to, right? Taking out a team like Nova, the number 3 seed from the WRL, will mean so much to a team like Rolster Y. And I feel like they have the comp that sets them up to do it. It really just comes down to execution at this point. This comp gives them 2 things here. Rolster Y, they have a lot of power in champions like the Singed, like the Varus, and they have a lot of scaling in the form of something like a Camille as well. Garen's gonna scale a lot because you can't really kill him later on in the game too. The problem is, if Nova can run away with the early game, the mid game, that'll be a disaster.
I'm not sure how I feel about this. You know, both sides just trading, getting
Pretty
some
even.
damage down. Yami now on a different type of champion. You know, he's playing the Steve Kangas, and it's a different type of champion, right?
Yeah.
Not the same kind of engage. He won't be able to get in as easily. He will still have quite a bit of impact, I'm sure, you know, but it's not going to be the same as the Rakan, which he performed incredibly well in last game.
Yeah, but the big changes I want to look out for on the side of Nova also come from the jungle and the Dragon Lane position. Long's always playing the carries, playing Kazakhs, playing Jax, playing Echo, which was smartly banned away against him. Now he's kind of on tank duty. He's kind of playing utility for his team, playing engage for his team in the form of this Wukong and also Remake. He's usually on utility duty. Now he's going to be a big part of the carry potential of Nova as he's playing the cocky. Now double poke here, drafted by Nova. They've taken Rolster Y's comp and saying, we're going to teach you how to play it.
What, you mean never seen full lethality Wukong?
I don't want to see it, Brandon.
But in all honesty, yeah, you're probably right here. I mean,
Yeah.
Long in a different look for the team, right? You know, they've been playing towards the jungle, for the jungle for so long. How do Nova kind of stack up? And this is something that I've been so excited to see, right?
Yeah.
Teams have not been able to test Nova well enough for them to have to pull out a different strategy. They go into it. Oh,
that's frustrating.
That one away. Iza picks that one up. Flash forward to get the silence down onto the ribbon. A little bit more damage, and the auto attack from Rattel. But first blood over to Rolster Y yet again.
Really good stuff there from Rolster Y. They recognized the damage thresholds. They knew they could kill Yiza there, even though he flashed early. Good stuff from Rattel and Do. And if you're burning the flash early on the Garen, you're not really upset as well, because you're not really going to get ganked. You're not really going to get killed anytime soon here. But this is great. Nova immediately map split.
Fall towards the bot side here, trying to isolate out Nomel. Nomel might just get taken down here. The exhaust and the auto attacks come through. Phosphorus bomb used and picking up the kill. They get a mega heat sip, trying to slow someone down. A lockdown onto Yen. Yen still has the barrier. A couple of attacks on Luna will get the job done. But good trade backs. But second kill over to Rolster Y.
But they only get one. I feel like with the deep dive that Nova went for, Rolster Y could have tried to go for more there. Do wasn't in position because they made the play at top. Ooh. And immediately Rolster Y Nova trade sides of the map.
Long was in a spot of trouble. Thankfully, Yami's still around. Did not recall just yet.
Don't abandon your teammates.
Love to see it from support players.
Doing a good job there, Yami. I think he hit level 5 at the perfect timing as well. So he was able to use his ult to just stop the chase coming in from Rolster Y. Timings right now pretty even on both sides. And I think if we go into the first dragon fight, you have the Proto Belt from Singe. You have the Varus likely going to have a lethality item by then. Rattel not going for Howlbreaker. I love that for him. Going for the Black Cleaver.
Look at that damage out from Yen. Nomel being picked up here. Showstopper going to be used. Trying to use the Haymaker, trying to find a couple more auto attacks onto Nian. Rocky Bell comes through. Shock Blast onto Noel, and it's Nian that's still alive.
I think Zero needed to be a bit more aggressive with his barrier there. He had the tools to really just...
Had Flash as well.
Yeah, he had Flash as well. I don't think he had Flip, but he should have tried to trade HP a little bit more with Nian there. Unfortunately, it doesn't pan out.
Sure.
He will still get their recall timings down.
Flash auto attack.
Close, it is really close. Flash auto attack from the Cinch, proc the fleet footwork, you good to go. But he wants to save it for the Dragon fight, right? Because that's what matters.
Spotting them out with the Vision. Remake does not get the recall yet. Rolster Y still making sure that Nova need to keep on their toes. Rotating around the map, trying to match them.
This is so good.
Getting them with the Mega Adhesive. But then he's there again.
Yeah.
He's gonna block them off. He's not gonna allow them to pick up a kill. He's at a point where he's still so strong.
But granted, it doesn't matter if you get the kill. Rolster Y right now, they're happy with stopping the back timings. They're happy with staggering the recalls coming in from Nova. This will give them control of mid lane. This will give them control of the bot side river. And now Nova, they're forced into onto the back foot here. They have to consider, what do we want to do? Do we have to just trade objectives?
Package picked up here for Remake. They're moving into the mid side, trying to stay flexible. We saw what happened last time around. Rolster Y fighting for the Rift Herald alongside Nova, stealing that one away, and the next subsequent Dragons as well.
The problem is they kind of stalled this for too long. Dole didn't get his recall timer in. He doesn't have a completed Sunderer yet. Whereas you look at Long, he's been farming this whole game. He has the Sunderer. He's level 7. He's starting this one off.
Dragon started here. Luna gets walked in from a little bit further away. Redemption's going to be used. Tops up Nova a little bit more. Getting them prepared for this Dragon fight. Noel starts this one off. Wow, beautiful Mega Adhesive. Yami needs to start flashing away. He needs to get out in time. Over by the side, though. Almost goes down, but the Dragon goes over to Nova in that time. Nian by the sidelines gets taken down by Zero.
It's all Rotel.
A massive fight here as Rotel jumps in, hits the Ignite button, and goes down on the Remake Long in a 1 versus 2 situation. Fighting off against Luna. He comes out victorious. The Nimbus strike, the crushing blow. A kill on the bomb side. Rotel finishes that one off.
He wins this, yes,
Trades
Sunderer.
back against Long, and with the Sunderer, a triple kill for Long in the river.
And we said that Long is going to be on tank duty. He's going to be on
a 4th? Is this looking to be a quadra kill for Long? Surely not. He's healing up so much. Silence finally down, and it's going to be Rotel with a shutdown onto Long.
Granted, if Long had mana there, he unironically gets a pentakill. He genuinely pentakills there if he had mana. Let's take a look at how this whole fight played out. The ultimate Dragon secure came down to the cock. He came down to the package. So aggressive here from Remake. A change of pace playing the champion that is supposed to carry the game. He goes in, secures the Dragon, forces the enemy jungler away, gets out alive. This whole series of events is so good for Rolster Y right now. But you look at Long, you look at how he plays around Rolster Y. He jukes them out. The healing from the Sunderer and the Golden Staff, so huge for the Wukong right now. And he completely plays Dole here.
I mean, Dole tried to fight back.
So safe.
He looked at in the last game, said, that was a strong Camille, why am I not as strong? Here we go, Noel once again goes into the fight, but this time does not have enough time to hit his spells. No shield available. Means he gets taken down, but 1-for-1 trade. Remake has gone down on his end as well. Rotel is massive on this Garen. Once again finds a pick up here for Rolster Y. The Cyclone being used, but Long's been held in place. The Mega Adhesive coming in clutch. Rolster Y fight back and bite back against Nova.
If they structure the fight in the front to back, if they keep Luna safe on the back line, Rolster Y feels so safe in these team fights. They have the double tank line, triple tank line if you count the set. It doesn't even matter that Dole's behind on goal right now because the rest of your team comp has so much power at this stage in the game that you can just take these team fights. And you look at Rotel, we say he's playing a tank too, but he's 5-0-3. He's gonna get the Hullbreaker next, I believe. He's so tanky.
Know.
He does so much damage.
I'm not sure that's a tank build.
That's not like a tank build.
That's like halfway, right? He's doing
said
damage.
that Long was a tank, we said that Rotel is a tank. Both of them are proving us wrong here. They're both the hard carries for the team.
Absolutely. You need damage. You need to have a way to have impact in these fights that isn't just tanking things up.
Yeah, and you got to keep in mind that this is a favorable matchup for the Garen as well. There's not many side lane matchups that you can say that Garen wins. Well, this is one of them, at least until the Sunderer Cleaver dual combo gets completed by Iza. It's going to be so easy for Rotel to face off against him in the side lanes.
It was a massive advantage here for Rotel, especially you look at his 2 items. Not going for the Hullbreak, he's actually going to go for the Ceres Gauge. Still respect that.
That's good.
That's better. Fitting into that ideal. Having damage while still being tanky, that's what Rotel's trying to get done here.
Yeah, that makes more sense. I think it's a good build. He doesn't want a side lane. He knows his goal is to team fight. And you look at the identity of both of these Baron laners, and you clearly see a difference in how they want to play. Nova, Isa has been side laning every first objective spawn, funneling himself gold, whereas Rattel recognizes my job is to play for the team. I want to make sure that Luna is safe because he's outputting so much damage right now.
Here's what I will say here, Omo. Both objectives of the game have gone over to Nova so far. Nova have the Rift Child and the first Dragon. Zero gets knocked back before he can get the top.
Yes, flash.
Comes through, flashback from the end, back on the turret. Nomel not able to catch him in time. Don't decide to set up a dive. A 3-man towards the top side. Nien in the spot of danger, has Isa running over quickly, trying to keep him alive. There we go, flashing in to get the stun down, but he can execute down in time. Taking down Nien, now they need to get out. Hook shot out by Do. Zero now being chased down by Isa. Gets the slow down with the Riot Lights. Execute damage, not enough. Singe lives, even without the barrier.
The Insanity Potion enough to keep him alive. I'm surprised that Zero did not use the barrier. That nerves of steel for sure. But you look at the trade on both sides of the map. Nova dropped the Herald and they immediately recognize we need to bail you out of the situation, Nian. We trade a turret for a kill. I think Nova are happy with that one. But the game state right now definitely favors Rolster Y. Especially if you consider how weak this Jace is right now.
And I was worried for a second there when we saw the Rift Herald being used towards the bot side, but very well identified from Rolster Y to hit that weak side Jace.
Just trading sides, right?
Hit that weak side Jace, taking down again, and even though they did not manage to pick up the top side turret, they still get so much additional value off of that.
That's a phrase I hate so much. Weak side Jace. If your Jace is ever in a scenario like this, it's just so hard to play the game around. Keep in mind what we said about Rolster Y's double poke comp last game. Same thing applies to Nova's double poke comp this game. You shouldn't fall behind because it gets so hard to play out the game if you're playing a poke comp from behind. The good news is, Corki does scale, Riven does scale, Long does scale, Wukong doesn't scale, but Long scales for sure, so you still have win conditions on the side of Nova.
Some vision here for Nova, so they know where Rolster Y are positioned. Dragon here started up, Yami trying to get a slowdown, trying to stop Rolster Y from getting into the pit.
It's all Luna right now. You gotta pay close attention to this guy because now he's on the Varus. Now he's so oppressive. If you can't get on top of him, he is gonna chunk you out. The longer this dance goes on for, the more it favors Rolster Y. And I think Nova, they're running out of time. Package is gonna time out soon.
You said that the last game too. It's all about Luna, and I have to agree. Rolster Y play around this guy so much. Between the Ziggs, between the Varus, he's long range, but he's damage, and he's consistent damage that will deliver, provided you give him the space to do it.
You gotta give him the space to do it. That's the key word right now. But Nova have the tools to jump on him. You have no longer a package, but you have Wukong, you have Riven. They both wear flash suit.
Nova coming in on both sides. They have the left, they have the right. River coming through. Nomel trying to get the face breaker in, pull someone in before the fight starts, take someone down.
Dragon's gonna get reset right now, and that's the cue for Rolster Y to head back to the mid lane. They're constantly getting prio on that one. Nian is in a bit of a tricky situation, but this should let him get the shock blast down onto the back line, onto Luna. The fight, the dance is still going on here.
Being channeled here by Long, but he knows he cannot afford to back away yet.
Big bomb.
Rift Town's going to despawn, so there's only one thing worth fighting for. Over by the back, Nian has to move in. They want to pick out the Long before the fight begins. But Luna already going down quite quickly to try and jump onto Luna, but Luna gets a flash away. Now they need to find this pick up. The chain of corruption coming through, sets up the fight for the rest of his team. Long, he gets it, despite though jumping in as well. Both junglers on the Dragon, but Luna still shooting out the arrows, putting damage down onto Nova. And Luna finally gets taken down. The Gatling gun out from Remake as he finds the angle for his target, Rattel. Now in an isolated position, facing up against 3. A fight lost to Rolster Y, and Nova fighting back.
Another heartbreaking fight here for Rolster Y. It's always the same story. Nova are so low, the health bars are blinking red, but you can never convert on the kill. And Remake credits to this guy, man. That team fight was all down to how they sniped out Luna. We said it would come down to the dives onto the Varus, but you don't need the dives. This one all starts off with Nian. He gets the poke down onto Luna. Look how low he gets here. If Luna is full health at the start of the fight, it might have played out completely differently. Good call from Rolster Y. We're gonna turn onto the flanker. We're gonna kill Nian. But while all this goes on, Long secures the Dragon. Good engage from Nomel. But now look at Remake. Look at how he snipes out Luna here. Perfection. Just knows exactly how he needs to win the fight for his team. And he lives too.
Be able to get away from Rattel there. Rattel strong, but not strong enough to win that fight. Nova finally get the fight that they want.
Yeah, and you look at the damage coming in from both Dragon laners. This Corki this Varus, they're trying to do so much in these team fights. But I'll be real with you here, Remake has so much more space to play with. He has the tanky frontliners as well, and he has the Braum to just keep him safe. And Yami has been doing such an amazing job.
Because you think about what happens when you have this extended scaling for Rolster Y, they get a little bit more room. So Nova, I think, are in a similar situation to what Rolster were in game number 1. They're on a bit of a timer, go into that late game, and it will be difficult.
Though I will tell you that I think eventually Iza will outscale Doe, not in the super late game, but in like the mid to late stages of the game, just because he gets more farm as a Baron laner. I do want to point out one little thing though. Rattel, he's no longer a tank. He's done being the tank. No tank duty for him. Cyrilda's Grudge. It's gonna hurt a lot, and the annoying thing is if he's spinning in the middle of your team, you can't move. He's perma-slowing you.
A strong interaction for the Garen.
Annoying interaction, more like. Extremely frustrating to play against.
And Nova, they just kind of have to deal with it.
Yeah. They have a lot of damage. That's a good thing, right? Because if you look at Remake,
just keep him off your backline, yo.
That simple. It really is that simple. But to be honest, it kind of is, because you have a Valkyrie for Remake to reposition. You have Yami, who's going to do a great job at peeling for his Koki. And Remake is starting to get more and more damage. As soon as he buys some penetration, I don't think he's super afraid of this Garen anymore. They start to be able to chunk him out. Full crit build. This Koki will hurt.
Let's see what Rolster Y want to get done. We are actually in a very similar position in game 1. I cannot emphasize that enough, especially the way we look at it. They're trying to find some block here, but it's going to be difficult. The flash away from the Wukong means very easily able to get away.
Yeah. And I don't know if that's a play that you're happy with. Burning Nomel's flash, such an important tool for your engage. Yeah, you trade it for a Wukong, but I don't think that's worth it at all.
Perhaps the same here. Remake has to flash away. Though over the back line, trying to pick up the Corki, but very good timing on the Hourglass means that Remake manages to stay away
All
from
about the Varus.
Still trying to look to take them down. Luna over by the side, gets to hit them so many times. The arrow comes through. Rattel will pick up on a kill. A second one as Long goes down. Flash should have been good for you this time, wouldn't it? Though over by the side, trying to trade back. They almost take down Nien, but Nien dodges away from death. Luna charges up the arrow. Rolster Y with fight 1 in the mid lane.
And Luna is quietly performing right now. We see such a huge skirmish. Rattel spinning in the middle of the enemy team. Nova trying desperately to counter-engage. But what I really want to look out for is look out for Luna's damage. Every team fight, he hits multiple people with every single arrow. Just lines them up, shoots it through the entire roster of Nova, resets the cooldown, and does it over and over again. He's going for the Black Cleaver now as well, trying to take down the tanky frontline of Nova.
Honestly, he stayed, his positioning was amazing. He stayed by the side. He was basically distinct for the fight, right? He was there hitting his arrows, he was doing damage. But apart from that, no one could get to him, no one could touch him. Nova could only watch. Frankly, Luna was having the time of his life there. I don't know if he's ever going to get a fight that good again.
He won't, and here's why, Grandin. Rolster Y right now managing to find front-to-back team fights in lanes. The moment the next objective spawns, Nova forced them to leave the lanes, come into the river, come and fight us in the river. And that's where Nova's team comp will excel. Braum takes up so much space in the river. Riven has so many options to come from behind, flanking from the Wukong as well. The Jace poking you from multiple different angles, and Luna all of a sudden doesn't have as much freedom to play out a team fight like he did the last one. Force them into a river. That's the win con now from Nova.
Here's the thing, Omo. We were in the same position where Rolster Y had 2 dragons and the first Rift Herald. Now it's Nova that has had 2 dragons and the first Rift Herald. And this is the switch Aru. Nova were able to pick up the other drink last game. Can Rolster Y give them a taste of their own medicine?
They know it started right now. They know it's leashed.
7,000 on this dragon, Long spotted out by the vision. They can try to keep him away, buffer him away from the dragon pit. They try to take down Long, but Long buys so much space. Luna gets taken down. There we go. They get into the backline. Isa's onto Luna. They need to take care of Luna first. He gets to flash away, starts to run, but Nien chases after. Isa harder still as well. That's the first kill down. That's the Ferris gone. Your damage source taken out. Doe comes in, tries to clean up Rattel, buying time against Remake, against Yami, but he managed to take down those 2 members. But now not enough HP to fight, but it's 4 alive on the side of Rolster.
Please, someone save Luna. Someone spare a taunt for your poor Varus there. They have 3 members diving in on top of Long, and that's great. You take him down so low, but then you need to turn around. You need to recognize if we keep Luna safe, he's going to do so much damage. TPs are coming in from Nova. Dragon gets started by Rolster Y.
20 seconds, 30 seconds on death time is on the side Nova. They shouldn't have a way back into this one. Zero
finish.
Up on to Remake, but it's going to be difficult. They're going to focus on the Dragon first. Instead, the stun on the 0-0 has to start running away. Look at this damage coming through. The Corky fighting gets locked down, pulled in by the Phrasemaker, the show stopper, and they jump in onto Remake. Remake gets silenced. They finally take down the Dragon. One more hit on the Remake will take him down. It's a flash forward with a tactical sweep from Dota does it. They get the other Drake. They get the first kill and the second kill. An unofficial ace, but they did it.
So it doesn't matter. I was talking about how it's all about Luna, but it turns out it doesn't matter because the rest of Rolster Y, they are making the work. I cannot believe it. Look at Rattel right now. He buys a Divine Sunderer on Garen. He's no longer a tank. He's given up completely on that life. Has a longsword in his pocket as well, so he wants more damage. I think maybe a GA could be good here. And I feel like Rolster Y, you start off the Baron right now. Long's alive, but you just need to zone him away from the pit. Just send Zero, send Nomel to zone away Long, and this Baron is yours. The game is yours.
It looks like Rolster Y are of the same mind here, Omo. They decided to start this one up. Long is live, though. He's trying to run over into the pit, but you see Rattel. Look at what he's doing. The Gargoyle Stone Plate, the Divine Sunderer,
Someone
the
zone him away.
Grudge means he's so tanky, buys so much time. Long can't get into the pit. He's pulled away, held so far away from the rest of his team. Teleport comes through by a strong Yami, and so now 2 versus 2. Itza trying to fight back against Zero.
Remix
the package use, but though rushing in and break that speed. The takedown Remake off of cooldown, off of respawn. Finally, a prime gaming ace for Rolster Y.
And complete domination from Rolster Y in that team fight. That's gonna be the game as well. Rolster Y, what a comeback.
Rolster Y say, give me one more chance, one more game, we'll get it done. A composition they've been dreaming of, and they take game number 2 against Nova Esports.
And this is what we said, right, Grandin? If there's ever a game you need to win, it needs to be this game. You've gotten the best team composition, the best champions for your team. You have to take it. Rolster Y, they heard us, and they delivered. What a performance coming in from Luna and the boys.
And it seems like the better the team they're up against, the more comfortable Rolster Y become.
They truly are leveling up.
And in game number 2 of the quarterfinals to start this day off, Rolster Y are delivering, but still, I want to highlight and want to flag what Nova Esports are doing because they're still looking good, they're still looking strong. Long, his performance was not what we were expecting, right? He's on the Wukong, a lot more utility, not on the hyper carry he's usually on, and I want to see him back on that hyper carry by game 3.
His early to mid game was definitely strong. He did a lot in that Wukong, but it wasn't enough at the end of the day. You just lacked the scaling. I think what we're seeing in this series start to develop 2 trends. Jace is a bait pick. He falls behind and he does nothing. And number 2, blue side just seems broken because you're forced to ban so many enchanters on red side that you give up the best picks. You had Singe, you had Varus, and Rolster Y, they look like a different beast in that game too.
I mean, there's some things that are so immediately transferable, right? Long is still going to win his early and mid game because he knows what needs to be done. Because he's long, he's just that good in the jungle. But when we get to that mid to late game, the limitations of the champion shine through. We see the power of the Camille. Doe did an amazing job there. I don't want to just chalk it up to the champion. But of course, the champion does make a big difference. Well, we're going to toss it over to the analyst desk to break this one down because a lot to be said about what needs to be done here for both sides to close out a much tighter series than we were expecting.
Yeah, much tighter indeed. We have a series, and Rolster Y definitely looking a lot better in game 2. And, you know, part of it was, of course, because Rattel had a better game, but part of it was also because Luna apparently has some kind of winning formula for all of his piercing arrows. We gotta get it out. That's all you were saying during that game. We gotta get it out.
Every single time, I'm gonna hate. Everyone's gonna hate me at home for saying this as well. But every single time Luna uses a piercing arrow, he spins around. He does like a 360 and everything. And honestly, if he plays it again, everyone at home will probably look at Luna now and just be like, what are you doing? Like, he's just
let's try to figure it out.
It's great style. I love it. Rattel's winning, spinning on the top lane. This is the first time Rattel has won a lane. You know what? Let me spin as well. And so it's the Baron lane, Dragon lane solidarity as it all started here with giving over the ribbon to Iza and Long accepting a lesser role as the initiator / tank on the Wukong and thinking like, okay, cool, Iza will carry, not so fast. We have a Rattel sighting. Rattel figured out he can play the game, but it's an ego check. Rattel at Horizon Cup played Renekton, Aurelia, Fiora, Riven, all these like really cool hyper carries. Yeah. But all he has to do is follow NA and play Garen on the top side of the map, and he's pretty good.
And he's right all along. It's all about just pick Garen and you win. Spin to win, baby.
Spin to win. He's all of a sudden, after this fight, I think he was like 5-0 in this fight here, and has like a 2,000 gold lead. This is the first time where he got a little aggressive and is like a story that Nova was trying to continue to exploit, which was leave Luna alone, bait the rest of Rolster Y in and then dish out the damage and kite backwards, but it didn't work all that well, and then they won. But basically, that's what happened. One fight at the Dragon, and then they won.
This was a much faster pace that we saw from Rolster Y, and you're absolutely right, Digon. As in, like, you know, the Nova Esports, they were focusing a lot on Luna. What they didn't expect, I think, was like the rest of Rolster Y really stepping up, and it didn't, like, I remember one clash, Luna went down, but it didn't matter because the rest of Rolster Y was there to handle everything Nova Esports, including Long Stewart, which was a big surprise, I think, for everybody. It's a matter now if they can sustain it until game number 3, which I am very much looking forward to.
I think that's the interesting thing now is that I think the caster said it. I think Omo briefly said it. You know, blue side now. I think blue side priority, which might be something that Nova goes back to. Nova has side selection now because they lost this game. That means they're probably going to go back to the blue side again. I feel like blue side, when it comes to the draft, you get that first pick priority, and you also don't have to ban out these enchanters like Karma, like Yumi, that's had such high priority, which means that Rolster were able to get Camille, which got flexed into the jungle this time. They put Rattel on a tank, even though he didn't really build tank Garen.
Right.
They got the Singe, they got the Varus, they got a lot of picks, and even Zero as well in the mid lane on that Singe. He didn't die a single time this whole game.
Yeah,
Crazy.
it just, when you look at the composition of it, and we should have called it out earlier, it was like 2 beefy front lines that was supposed to be beefy in terms of the Garen. He just ended up snowballing, just being scary Garen. And then allow the engage to come from Doe, and then Nomel over and over again on the set, getting 2 3-man engages. And I disagree with the casters. They were saying, hey, look, the support flash by the set to take away the Wukong flash, not worth it, but Long has been the heartbeat of this team. He's the one that's trying to start the fights, and so you take it away from them, you still have a Camille that can dive and start these fights, and that is what Rolster did in the Dragon fight that ensued. No flash for Long, he dies.
He dies, yeah.
There you go.
And I think, like, with this game, there were a lot of great moments on the side of Rolster Y. Let's actually take one more listen to Rolster tying this series up in our HyperX call of the game.
Pride and shame. Sometimes the scars ain't worth the pain. Hit 'em where it hurts 'em. Can't stop the rain. Let the money burn, feed the fame. We don't give a damn about it. I'm an outlaw, cooler than the West Coast. I'm a young gun looking for a smoke show. Quick to draw and I shoot to kill. Do it all for the thrill of it.
You know, jumping off of that very quick commercial break, I actually want to ask, when you guys play Wild Rift, do you have like ears or some kind of like cosplay thing going on?
I was going to say, I do have ears when I play.
I mean, elven ears. You take off your ears.
When you said cosplay, I was like, ears cosplay? You talking about like headphones now? We talking about something else.
Clearly, when I said ears, I had something else in mind.
Yes. Yeah. I do like finding secret doors in my room, though. That's always fun.
Yeah.
Cool thing. Oh, man.
I'm almost scared to ask where that's gonna go, so I'm gonna leave it at that, Digon.
It was part of the commercial.
I'm regretting going down this path now. You've
Okay.
made me regret something I was so proud to bring up.
All
Anyway. Anyway, we are now getting into game number 3, and the question is whether Rolster Y can keep that momentum that they had going on in game number 2, or if Nova Esports is gonna be back with a vengeance.
Sure, and I've got a proposition for everyone at home watching.
Analyst Egon.
Analyst Egon here on the analyst desk. I want the casters to do it as well. You all watching at the viewing party at the Marina Bay Sands, if you're watching at home, take a look at your hands right now. Take a look at your hands. You want to know why? What's on them?
Okay.
What's on them? A series. We got a series on our hands, everybody. Rolster Y has shown up to play and was in both of these games. Both of these games. And has looked so good. And so I think if you're a Rolster, continue to be on the front foot because this Nova Esports squad does not look like they quite have found it yet. Now, if you're Nova, go ahead, put Long on a carry. The Iza show is over. Iza is a good secondary carry. He's not the primary carry. Get Long on a carry and put that in his hands.
Stuart.
That's the cringiest thing I think I've ever heard in my life.
Do you miss TJ? Do you miss TJ?
Grab TJ back.
No, that's it. Can we have TJ
I'm
back?
done with Analyst Egon.
Yeah, let's.
Is that the only analyst?
Production, can we not do Analyst Egon again?
Okay,
This is just.
I will do that.
The only
I'm
thing that
sorry.
Degon has analysed this whole entire series so far is like looking at the hands. We got a series.
You made me put down my card and look at my hands.
Yeah,
And I was like,
I was looking at my hands as well.
I was so.
There's a
oh my
series there.
God.
There's a series there.
Anyway, I think we should talk about-
I'm so sorry for everybody watching a Wild Rift Esports right now. I apologize on behalf of the analyst desk right here.
It wasn't that bad.
It was Degon. Okay, now shh, quiet. All right, we're jumping into game. We're jumping into game number 3, and we see right now priority goes over to Corky. Stuart, is this a good thing or a bad thing for Nova Esports? What do you think?
We're basically going back to how Draft 1 was, right back to game number 1, you know, the exact same bans for both Nova and Rolster, and then it's the first pick for Nova, but here is the adaptation. You know, this is where Rolster went for Kha'Zix and Ziggs in game number 1, but instead they're taking away the Camille, and now they're picking up the Ziggs again, which means that, you know,
Kha'Zix is open.
Exactly, Kha'Zix is open again, so if you're on the side of Nova, do you just give along that Kha'Zix, or do you just leave it out for the ban phase? Instead, it goes back to the Lee Sin.
And
We're really going back to game
yeah,
number 1.
and I like it here by Nova because we highlighted very clearly how many kills and how much gold was left on the table by Long, just kind of not being as familiar on the mechanics as he has been because it's been banned away every single series. And then a Renekton on the top side of the map. Iza saying, I'm throwing down the gauntlet here. So do we stick with the Camille there or do we flex it away?
It's another situation, you know, if you're a Rattel, do you feel comfortable or do you just go to the Garen? Maybe I was about to say, maybe you pick it up here because I feel like Nova just ban it out themselves and now Rattel, he's gone from being the hyper carry last year to just being on tank duty. But saying that, last game, he went for Black Cleaver, he went for Soraida's Grudge as well for the slows. He was building Garen like a hyper carry, like a carry.
I love that, the Rolster Y coach, he's got the Arthur Fist ready to go. He's like, oh, you taking Renekton? Don't worry. Our Garen's ready. Rattel's back, baby. No more ego for Rattel. He's gonna give it his best shot. We'll see what happens here. The ban phase now coming on through as Morgana and Jace get taken away. Again, Jace has been mostly banned by Rolster Y, but Nova do not want to give that one over. But I think Luna on the Ziggs, he did a lot of damage in game number 1. It just felt like it wasn't as impactful as the CC he was providing and the engage tool, both as a disengage and engage tool with the Varus. So I think you're going to need to find who's going to provide that here for Rolster.
And the thing is that the Ziggs can still go into Zero's hands as well. That still could be a flex pick. It still could go to Zero if they do want to, you know, if they do want Luna or maybe like a hyper carry instead or someone like that. It depends, but I would think that maybe it goes into the hands of Luna because we saw it in game number 1. They'll probably pick a support here on the side of Rolster and they'll leave that flexibility till last. So you've still got to play on the back of your mind if you're Nova. You know, is the Ziggs going to mid lane? Is the Ziggs going in the duo lane to Luna? could go back to set for Nomel. I think Nomel had a really, really great set game. You know, Nomel has been, there you go. And Nomel's just going to go back to his main engage source of what he was in game number 2. Every single time Rolster looks for a fight, it's always Nomel at the start. It's always him, the one going in for engages the whole time.
That nearly hit us. Did you see that?
Yeah.
That nearly hit us. We had to dodge it physically. I did. I don't know if you guys moved, but
Haymaker.
yeah, I definitely did. But right now we're seeing a little bit of shades from game 1 here, but now with a little bit of a twist as Orianna comes in as well. This is gonna be there's a lot of power here on the side of Nova Esports, and I'm wondering if we have an Alistar as well. Digon, how are you feeling about Nova's lineup right now?
Lots of tools to deter probably the best player on Rolster so far, Nomel's, like engages and now is Zed. And I like this here because this gives Rolster Y the opportunity to take skirmishes, not extended team fights. And as much as the Lee Sin wants a skirmish, the Renekton wants a skirmish, Orianna does not. Orianna wants a team fight. So if you start going down to the bottom side of the map and it's an engage by set, here comes Zed, here comes Camille, that's a quick kill, and now all of a sudden you have much better team fight 5v4.
I think, like you mentioned, I think Long is definitely going to focus more towards the mid and the top side, towards that Renekton as well. Try and get Yeezy ahead on this Renekton, because if Yeezy can get ahead on this Renekton, it's going to be a scary crocodile that we'll have to play up against.
Well, we're going to see if that crocodile can be very, very scary indeed as we head into game number 3. Grand and Anomo, take it away.
Well, Mika, I'm looking at my hands, and we've got a series on them. Game number 3 coming our way. Nova and Rolster Y. Nova this time around. They've doubled down back in game 1 strategy. They've got the Lee Sin again. They've got the fighting power. Rolster Y doubled down on game number 2 strategies. They come in with the Camille again. They come in with the Garen. No Varus, but he got the Ziggs.
Close enough. It's basically the same thing. A little bit more oppression coming in from the Varus. You're strong in lane. You're strong at securing prio. But the Ziggs, we saw how effective Luna was on that pick as well in game 1. If you land a big outie, you can chunk out your opponents before the fight even starts here. A little bit of differences though, a little bit of a twist. We'll touch on that as we go into game here, but I want to bring up, honestly, this series has been a lot closer than I think anyone was expecting.
I was expecting a close series.
Okay, you have a lot of hopium for the Korean teams though.
Sure. And maybe that does change things slightly.
Yeah.
But I feel like, you know, they deserve some respect here
They
coming
do.
into this one, right? Nova have been looking incredible in the competition so far, and Rolster Y fighting back incredibly well. I mean, honestly, really coming to form on both sides. Frankly, this is really a situation of better team just wins.
Very interesting coming in from Nova right away, starting things off with a lane swap here. Cocky farms for free against a Garen. It's kind of hard to kill you with a Garen Camille combo. You would really have to mess up your positioning. And Renekton has a good lane time into the Zed. I love the swap to start things off from Nova.
So what happens here? Zero trading back against Isa.
Really good.
Very close there.
Yeah, that's kind of what I want to touch on as well, right? Rolster Y, their team compositions, the adaptations they've made after game 1 have been doing them a lot of favors right now. In game 1, they really only had one way to win the game. Their comp only allowed them to win through poke.
Haha!
Look at that, trading back from Nian. Good job.
Using the exhaust will cut a lot of damage out from Rattel.
Yeah. But back onto the point about team compositions, Rolster Y right now, they have a lot more power. They have the ability to side lane. They win the side lane with Zed, Camille. They have a tank. They have Engage coming in from Nomel. Overall, I think all the tools are here to give a dub over to Rolster Y.
What an interesting situation. Noel coming in.
That's
Again, a beautiful lockdown. But Isa gets the dash away, still has his flash, and so Rolster Y would not persist for the kill.
Little criticism, both Nomel and Zero stack their ignites there. Minor thing, but that shouldn't be something that's happening. You need to communicate that one.
Flashing forward, it's a
But that's
flash
fine because they're gonna dive
onto the
this.
end. They're setting up 3 members here towards the top side. Wave starting to crash in. Zero over the side. They have no vision of this happening. Wave starts to come through. Zero is gonna be nearby. He wants to try and finish off a kill on the Rattel first. Flash away from the end. One more auto time, but Zero taking damage to the turret.
No.
He still survives though. And first blood, 3 games in a row to Rolster Y.
Rolster Y doing a very good job at identifying their win conditions in these games. Corky might have a free lane against Garen. I said you couldn't dive him, but you know what you could do? You could stack the wave and you can... I said you couldn't gank him, sorry. But you can dive him, and that's exactly what Rolster Y did right there.
Sure. Being able to identify that, do a good job. Then after getting mid lane pressure, you rotate towards the top side and you get the dive going.
Yeah, this is good. Good start coming in from Rolster Y. The fact that the kill goes over to Do as well is gonna do him a lot of favors. Lee Sin has a great time in this jungle matchup. He has a lot of freedom in the first 5 minutes to really run the show. But that first kill will bring Do ever so much closer to his Divine Sundera, to his power spikes. And this is a matchup where Camille will hard outscale you on.
Good part about having the Zed here is the ability to try and dive into the back. One of the biggest responses we've seen to the Zed pickup has been the Garen, and so I like the fact that Rolster Y had the presence of mind to pick up the Garen first and then the Zed after.
Yeah, really good stuff coming in from Rolster Y, and also the Zed is not something which teams would normally ban against Rolster Y. I do believe this is the first time Zero's playing it. It might be one of the first times for sure, and it's not really his kind of champion as well. That's not something you would expect from Zero. If you're talking about who the big carries normally are, who gets draft priority, it's Luna, it's Do, it's Rattel. But because you're early picking champions like Garen, like Ziggs, you don't need to save them counter picks, and that gives Zero the freedom to come in with something sneaky that you don't expect, like the Zed.
See, here's the interesting thing, right? I've looked back, looking back towards Roasted Y's drafts before, oftentimes you go like, oh, okay, that's pretty nice, you know, it fits well within the identity, within the composition, but it's never really been exceptional. Well, I'm gonna have to hold that thought as Isa now facing off against two members in the mid lane, has to flash away. Nomel rushing down from the top side. Does get to get away with his ultimate and flash and barrier used.
But that's a dub for Roaster Y nonetheless. You use 2 outs. Oh no.
Nice kick away. Zero might have to try and flash out, but caught by the crippling strike. The damage out from Long, too much to deal with. A return kill for Nova.
You can't make a mistake against Long. You can't afford to make a mistake against Nova. Such a tiny error. Like, not basing safely, basing greedily right there from Zero. Gets him punished so hard by Long. That gives Long for another kill. And I think he's off to a good start here.
I'm just going to very quickly finish off the point I was trying to make. You look back towards Roaster Y's drafts, you know, have been good, but not too overbearing.
Yeah.
I feel like in this series particularly, you know, for the champions you want to try and get, has been looking very nice. You know, it feels good, especially.
It feels good for sure. And now we are rapidly approaching the first objective spawns. We have Package on Corki. He has Howlbreaker as well. So this is kind of the dilemma you were talking about in Game 1, where if he comes down, he's kind of weak because he has the Howlbreaker, but he needs to come down because he has the Package anyway. And if you look at the team comps as a whole, I would honestly say I think Roaster Y are looking pretty strong, looking pretty scary right now. We just have to watch out for 2 main things from the side of Nova. Lee Sin, Renekton. That's your power spike right now. What can Lee Sin, Renekton do here?
Dragon up, Rift Herald up, off to the side lane. Zero and Iza once again get their matchup. The Dragon going over to Nova. Roaster Y want the Rift Herald instead.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a trade. Nien is just fishing with some rockets. He has the package to get away, so he should be fine. Luna though.
Shockwave lands onto Luna. Good amount of damage, but they're looking for a catch on the remake. Trades back for some damage. The barrier burnt by the Orianna.
Such a good trade from both of these teams, knowing exactly what they need to do in that situation. Nothing substantial comes out of as a result of that one.
Here we go, setting up a dive towards the bot side.
That's really nice.
Gets kited away. Zero, a beautiful movement. Dashes back on the turret. You can now start to see isolated.
Iza's dead.
Off between 2 turrets. Iza gets pulled back. The Showstopper and Facebreaker trying to give the kill over to Nova. Nomel picks it up.
Ignite was the last instance of damage there. That's why Nomel picked that one up. A little bit unfortunate.
Flashing forward, Rattel for a quick kill on the Yami. True damage from Ignite takes down the Elsa through the Elsa ultimate.
I don't want to jinx anything. I don't want to curse it.
Then don't say it. Don't say it,
Roaster Y are looking like they might be the better team here today. They're answering every single play that Nova's makes, and they're being proactive on their own plays as well. Roaster Y ticking all the boxes here, looking amazing in Game 3.
I've never seen a bigger curse than the Omo curse, so please refrain from making these comments
it's too late.
again.
I've already said it.
Please refrain from making these comments again. We'll cap it at 1.
Okay. I gotta use my curse on Roaster Y so I don't accidentally use that on RRQ, on Team Flash, on Flash Wolves later today.
No, yours is boundless. Like, you're unlimited. It's just free flowing. Well, though, off in the jungle, spawns out Nova. Nova trying to fight back, trying to get some control towards the bottom side. Set up for a dive here, potentially Zero with an amazing outplay last time around.
Nice. Little proto belt there to save Nomel. And honestly, Nova, they've been doing what they always do. They've been trying to cross map. They've been trying to funnel resources into Iza. But Roaster Y, they've learned, they've adapted, they've overcome. They're answering every play that Nova are trying to make now and making better plays on their own side of the map as well. So Roaster Y, the pace of the game is going to slow down for a bit here. They did lose the first dragon, but they chunked the mid lane turret. It's a very WCK style Herald. You don't secure any turret gold, but you chunk it down. Any more space on the map, and Luna, 1 satchel will be enough to take it down.
Next dragon up is going to be the Cloud Drake. The Infernal went over to Nova first to get a little bit more damage. But again, in a very similar position, when you have the Lee Sin, you have the Alistar, the Renekton, you have some decent fighting potential, but in the hyper late game, Roster Y tend to do outscale.
Yeah, Roster Y will outscale, I think, eventually. The Oh, Nomel gets caught again.
Well, picks up the shield, flashes to the wall.
Look at that, man. Look at Luna. He always positions his outs perfectly. His arrows always hit multiple people. His grenades always hit multiple people. This guy just knows his angles well.
I feel like that's a slightly different thing than a bouncing bomb, but
yeah, but still.
Sure.
Look at Hellbreaker. Look at the power of Hellbreaker, by the way. Koki just 1v1 the Zed true deathmark because of Hellbreaker. Cool.
Cool.
That's
very,
cool.
Very fun. But I'm sure as Zero picks up more damage, you know,
Yeah.
there's going to be more opportunities for this.
And this is what we always talk about, right? Zed's power is on a scale. It's on a graph. You spike super hard in the early game once you get your death mark. You basically get to 1v1 anyone. You kind of lose power in the mid game once stopwatches, once hourglasses get completed. But once you get to the late game, your out cooldown is shorter than hourglass cooldown. You just chuck ultimates off CD, and eventually you'll find someone lacking. You'll burn a flash. You'll kill them through hourglass. Something will slip eventually. And that's what we're looking for here on the side of Roster Y.
Let's see if Zero can execute towards that. If anything, his early game performance does give us a full confidence, I would say. Roster Y still having some difficulty taking down that mid lane turret.
Yeah.
Still up at this point. They have the satchel charges, but you can see it only whittling down the turret eventually. At the same time, Riftchild, second one of the game, coming up in just under 15 seconds, and Nova are the ones in control first.
Nova in full control. They do not have the package yet, I believe. Oh, they do actually. That's in the pocket of Nian right now. They're happy to start this one off. But you have to keep in mind that Remake cannot leave the mid lane right now. The moment he does, that satchel will take down the turret. So he has to stay in mid lane. He's stuck. He's trapped.
Luna has his ultimate, which is able to provide more utility for the rest of his team from further away.
Fantastic. Exactly, Brandon.
Thank you very much, Obo. Roster Y also doing their due diligence.
Nova
Nova start this one up. First Redemption giving them vision of the Rift Herald.
Look at Zero. Look at where Zero is, though. Baiza's well aware. He's marking him.
Yeah, and over by the side in the mid lane. Has to use the package, but the package comes down early. They managed to find the first takedown. It's going down on Yami. Yami sacrifices his life so that he can pick up the Rift Herald for his team. Nova trade one for the Rift Herald.
One for the Rift Herald. I think that's worth right now. Considering the game state, you lose your support, you get the Rift Herald, you're happy with that one. But mid lane turret does still drop in favor of Roster Y. Now the question is, what can you do with this Rift Herald? And I'll be real with you here, Grandin. I think Roster Y are happy to give that one up. Rift Herald right now on the state of Nova. Where on the map are you actually going to attack? Mid lane? Like, the Ziggs are just going to kill every single wave. If you use it on side lanes, you're not strong on the side lanes. They have better side lanes than you for the first time this series. Garen's stronger than Renekton right now. Zad's stronger than Koki right now. Things are looking up for Roster Y as they start posturing for this dragon.
Long for a quick recall, goes back to base, but not before he picks up the Scuttle Crab. Roster Y now positioning in the Dragon Pit, clearing out vision, but you cannot clear the Scuttle Shrine.
And this is something that Roster Y have been doing so well the entire series, even in game 1 that they lost. They will always secure mid-wave, they will always secure mid-prio, and then will always trap someone from the side of Nova, because Nova always approaches from the side lanes. Looking for the flank angle here.
Long once again, looking for a steal, but No goes in first to try and finish off a first target. Remake over by the side, pops the shockwave, but the shockwave does not get that
Look
much
at
work
Iza.
done. Yami over by the back, dashing into the back line. Zero looking for a first kill, trying to take down Nian, and he finds the pickup over by the side though. The rest of Nova continue to press on against Roster Y. Send them dashing on the turret. Iza's still there. They manage to take down Luna finally here. Now Zero joins back into the fight. The Red Tail starts to come across. Noel taking damage. The orb coming through for the Orienna. Remake getting some damage down. Yami joins in the fight here again. Finally, turret falls on this side. Ratel sent running. Zero needs to deal with the Rift Herald, but he cannot go back in.
And Long will be able to get the Dragon as well because they're so low on the side of Roster Y. Lee Sin can lifesteal. He's good to go. And that's what you're going to use the Herald for. I guess you don't need the side lane. Herald is just a tool to enable you to dive the turret here. That's about as WRL as it gets. And that team fight, it was all Iza. The Crocodile in the back line shut down Roster Y.
Beautiful understanding of how to try and play out that fight, because you look at how things start out. A lot of damage out for Roster Y, but then very quick turnaround.
It's all Iza. They use the exhaust early here, but Iza in tandem with Long just shut down Do right from the get-go. And the Renekton with no exhaust to slow him down is such a menace. Renekton Lee Sin, that's exactly what we said the crux of the early game for Nova would be reliant on. And these two guys, they completely ran the show here. Long and Iza stepping up big in game 3.
But we do start to see Zero come online. He was able to execute the backline, take down Nian. was nearly able to take down Yami, finally finished off Isa, and so a situation where the Zed is getting stronger. That being said though, Nova with 2 dragons and the gold lead.
They've secured themselves some sort of scaling, at least in this game. They do have the Orianna. Shockwave is going to be really big here. They do have the Cocky, that package, the damage. It's going to be very big here as well. But Rolster Y, there are definite ways you can play out this game. There are definite ways you have to win this game. You just need to be creative. Use a flank angle from your Zed. Force the Shockwave early. Flank angles from Camille like this.
Over by the side. We'll spot out Isa. Isa pops the dominance and the ultimate. You have to watch out for the Shockwave. Remake's going to be nearby. Has the Shockwave loaded
That's
and
big.
ready. Coming in, the Facebreaker. They managed to hold Remake in place. Shockwave on the 3 in the backline. Do going down. Luna going down. But they managed to trade back. Not even one, actually. No, haven't been a trade back. Yami finally goes down. Zero late into the fight. Wants to take down Long. The Deathmark comes across. Shuriken and the execute for the kill. But Zero can only get so much done with just him and Rattel. They will clear out the wave. Try to keep the turret alive. A few more auto attacks in place. Nova get mid lane turret.
And yet again, such good team fighting coming in from Nova. Such good target selection.
Oh, he's been dead for so long. He's running back in, looking for the auto attack on the Remake. But a hook shot and the precision protocol, not enough to finish off a kill.
And definitely some flashbacks of game 1 starting to come true. Rolster Y, little mistakes will get heavily punished by Nova. And yet again, blinking red health boss as Nova get away with the kills, with the dragon. No Hextag. Oh, he does have Hextag ultimatum, but it's a bit too deep.
Expecting the Hourglass as well.
That too. Good point, Grandin. Hourglass check, something very important you got to keep in mind.
Don't want to have to waste the ultimate when it's not necessary.
Yeah.
Could find more value from that later on. So Rolster Y are going to have to be content about that one. But Nova, with a series of successful fights, get themselves back into a strong position. And a lot of that, again, starts out with Long.
Yeah, and Long's on 3 items right now. He's been so effective in these team fights, soaking up so much damage, being so hard to kill, finding good kicks. Look at his counterpart, Do, on this Camille. You're so reliant on farm, you're so reliant on gold. Do is trying his best. He's trying to find farm anywhere he can, but he's just an item behind. He's starting to fall behind, and Long would not give you a chance to come back into this game. Your jungler is not someone you can leave in the side lane to secure farm. You need to send Rattel, you need to send Zero, and Do will lose out on gold as a result of that. A level down, 2,000 gold down his counterpart.
Those life
not good right now.
It's really when you're playing solo queue and you're telling your teammates, hey guys, I need to farm for a little bit, and they keep fighting, they start up Baron, and Do just goes, well, what do you want me to do? I have no money, I can't fight you.
Look at that.
Kiting away from Ita, a beautiful set of mechanical moves from Zero, pops the Hourglass, Do gets a flash in, comes through with the Hextech automate, and they're looking for a kill here with the barrier pop. Zero going low, but still able to get the kill pick up. Yami dashing in, trying to get the knock up onto Zero. Sent away as Do acts as bodyguard.
But look at Long. He just doesn't care. We said junglers are not someone you usually leave in the side lane, but because of the mobility, you can identify timings where you can capitalize on big waves. Trading sides of the map is what Nova does so well, and Long right there secures himself yet another 1,000 gold lead on Do. Even though Do got the kill onto Isa, it doesn't matter. The richest man on the game right now, on the Rift, is going to be Long.
My goodness. And Long knows because there is no Elder Drake, there's no need to be towards spot side. He just needs to be close towards the Baron. If his team wants to start it up, he's going to be there to help them. If Rolster Y started up, he's going to be there to stop them. Just an amazing set of decisions made by them.
Nian's just waiting on the timing. There's nowhere he really needs to be on the map right now. All the lanes are coming in.
That's very impressive, you know, like being able to prevent yourself from picking up the treats.
Yeah,
that's
very
like
good self.
The delayed gratification. No,
but he still picked it up pretty early. That's going to give them a very slim window.
We'll have to see if that's actually going to come into play, if that's going to make an impact in this game.
And that's why Alistair is such a great pickup against a champion like Camille as well. One headbutt and Hextag ultimatum is gone.
Sure. And then you have the 4 other Hourglasses that also prevent anything from happening.
Oh, but look at Nomel. Nomel's such an angle right now.
Yeah.
The problem is Cocky's online, Orianna's online. The balls and rockets are going to do an amazing job at zoning away key targets on Rolster Y. They're going to start this one off. They have the package to zone. Nova might just do it.
Elder Dragon off of spawn. Redemption coming through now. Rolster Y trying to get into the pit, but amazing position here from Nova. Yami tries to go forward again. Silence here, gets taken down. Rattel with the first kill. The pick up starts here for Rolster Y. Nova need to find a way to respond back. Zero into the backline, trying to take down Nian. Then immediately pops the Hourglass, pops the package, but over by the back door, looks for the kill. The exhaust lands onto the Corgi. Nomel tries to buy time and attention away from Nova. Pulls them in the Facebreaker, and now Elder Dragon stop. Nowhere for Nova to continue.
Rolster Y, they have the HP advantage, but they have the numbers advantage, but not the HP advantage. Forced to reset right now. They have like a 10-20 second window where Yami is still dead, that they can try to force something, but they're not going to be able to find that timing window, I'm afraid. Dodo using a good timing to go in, shove out the Baron wave, put some pressure on
Good
Nova on
timing.
the map.
Omo, good timing.
I think it's a good timing, but where's the rest of Rolster Y?
Because Rolster Y haven't
Where
given
are
up their
you?
space. Nova gets to stop the dragon once again. Rattel thankfully gets to run down in time, try and prevent this from going
good,
down,
that's
but
good.
Long, he's nearby. He spots this one now. He's going to make sure that Rolster Y don't get picked this one up for free.
In the last team fight, not too many key resources get burned. Orianna would not have flashed, Kaki would not have flashed, and Set would not have flashed. These are the big things to look out for while Luna still does. If he keeps himself alive, if he doesn't get dived, this could be Rolster Y's fight.
Yami forcing a
Wow,
fight here.
Luna,
Tries to look for
man.
the knockoff. Luna beautifully gets the central charge to dash away. Here we have it. The fight starts out easy. Looking for the pick up onto Do. Redemption comes across. Damage out from Luna. He's popped the Guardian Angel. Trying to take down Long. Locked by the side. Ita going down low. Rattel chases after a kill. They haven't been able to finish off one, but both sides losing so much HP.
Such a push and pull fight from both of these teams right now. It's Nova that starts off the team fight, but Luna, fantastic performance from him. Doesn't even need to use Flash. Doesn't even need to use Hourglass. Just comfortably uses the satchel charge to get right out there. Both teams alive. Both teams no resources available at this point. Every flash has basically been used on the side of Nova, but Rolster Y still have flashes on 4 key members. If they start the fight off right now, I gotta feel like Rolster Y are favored for sure.
Almost 3 games down to the Elder Dragon. 3 situations where we've gone into Elder Dragon for either side to win the game. 0 off in the side lane right now, trying to shove it out, trying to buy some time, give some space over to his team. Because Do is off towards the top side, Dragon is not a realistic option.
It doesn't matter that Do is not at the Dragon, as long as Nova don't know that Do is not at the Dragon. He can clear jungle camps, he can clear Scuttle Crab, but he just cannot show on waves. That's the big concern for Do right now. Nova don't know where he is, so he's able to just have the freedom to find farm, to find space on the map, but he's gonna show on the top wave, I think. And this might be a bit dangerous, because Nova, they will just pull the trigger and they will just start this Dragon off.
I'm gonna flag Rattel really quickly here. Look at this guy, 4-0-3.
Massive.
Not the same aggressive build he had last game, but still a lot of damage. The Black Cleaver and Starry's Gauge gives Rolster Y's Rattel this chance to execute the squishy members in Yen and Remake.
And even Yami, right? He's been positioning so aggressively that if he gets poked down, he will just get taken down. You're not that tanky against an execute. All some of the spells are back up. All flashes, package is back up because the dance has been going on for so long. And I feel like Nova, I think you have to do something here. I think this is your cue to take a fight.
I think Rolster Y are happy to keep this one going, scaling up. Still, they have so much more upper ceiling, upper bound to keep going. Whereas Nova, they need to try initiate, try and start the fight off. Noel more than happy to tank up the other Drake. He's going to be able to heal back up, get back into the fight with his team.
Great
Dragon
use of the
starts
Seeker.
up. Pulls in attention. There we go in the mid lane to try and pick up a fight onto Ita. Damage coming down. Luna comes in with the assist. Redemption tops Do back up. Long hits the Sonic Wave, but there is no re-engage.
So if you think about resources at this point, because that's what the game comes down to right now, 2 things, wave management and resources. Resources are always getting burned by both teams, but Rolster Y are consistently finding little edges every single time. Eventually, something should slip up on the side of Nova. They have to deal with the top wave that was set up by Do earlier. They're running out of resources as the fights go on. I feel like Nova have to make the call. They have to pull the trigger. They have to start something off here, and this looks like Long might want to try.
This is so much tension. Both sides just need this Elder Drake here. They managed to pull in Yami once again, but there is no kill to be had. Long takes the death mark, but you can see Zero, the cooldown on that ultimate going down so quick.
This is the timing that we talked about. Level 15 on that Zed. You basically have no cooldown. Yiza gets caught.
Once again, gets caught out. Luna times his ultimate perfectly. Yiza won't manage to get away with the help of Yami. Remake off by the side, though, not looking for the re-engage.
Don't push his mid. You start off the Dragon. You force Yiza to have the TP. That's the goal right now for Rolster Y. You need to do something. You need to force the issue.
They should be able to spot this opportunity out. They go onto the Dragon now. They have the control ward in the pit. No vision here for Long. Long looking for the angle. It's just barely out of range. Finally managed to tag the Dragon off by the side. Yami still pulling attention, but getting caught out. The Ignite comes across. Yami losing health to the Ignite. The true damage burn. Long once again with the Guardian Angel. Zero's over by the backline. He's going to get taken down. Long flashes away in time. Rolster Y, a 1-for-1 trade. Zero's the one that goes down.
And it's not what you would expect, but it's Remake that saves the day. He finds an angle for the shockwave to tie up the members of Rolster Y.
Once again, a catch onto Ita. It didn't work the last time.
Stasis.
But this time around, it might one more hit onto Ita. They will not be able to find it. Long comes in clutch to save his Baron lane, and Yen joins into the fight now with the Gatling gun. Long looking for the execute onto Nomel, gets pulled back. Long, it's absolutely unhinged. Nothing can stop this man. He's come to full power onto Luna, taking down a second. Nova find themselves this opportunity.
Grandin, Nova, just do it all. It's all about Long. Rolster Y didn't even make a mistake, but Long forces the fight, finds the angles. They're gonna secure themselves the Elder as well.
Long puts in the work, puts in the effort, and they get it done. The Elder Drake likely to go in the hands of Nova Esports. Teleport picked up by Zero, but quickly sent, returned away, not willing to commit in for a fight, not in a 3 versus 5.
Long yet again making highlight reel plays in a competitive game in the knockout stages of the Icons Global Championship. Long is styling on Rolster Y with this Lee Sin pickup. He gets onto the backline, he finds the angles. He's impossible to kill as well.
Likely a Baron going down to Nova as
they
we
should
look
get
back
that one.
at that previous fight. Starts off well for Rolster Y.
It starts off great. They keep executing Yami. But look at the shockwave here. This is what saves the day for Nova. He keeps Long alive. He sacrifices his own positioning, frankly, to keep his jungler alive. And because of that, Long gets to pop off in the upcoming fight. They jump on Iza, no stasis, great call. But tiny mechanical errors from Luna. He should have flashed to begin with. He shouldn't have started with stasis. And that's all it takes. That's all you need to do. And Long will pop off. That's it. It's simple as that. What a player.
Had his stun onto Zero. And Zero, with so much of the team's gold right now, needed to stay alive to make that fight a success.
That's Yami on your screen right now. Shot
Very
calling
excited.
from the graveyard.
Absolutely.
A situation I've been in many times.
Good way to put it.
Yeah, I know, because I'm always in that situation. But I want to highlight Remake as well. It's easy to look at Long and saying, man, this guy's making all the highlight reel plays. But Remake has been sacrificing his positioning, flashing forward time and time again to make sure that Long is safe, to make sure that he gives the extra bit of damage, that Long can execute them.
Looking for a fight. Get the catch onto Luna. Luna sees the rest of his team coming in to try and keep him alive, protect him, flashes away from the shockwave. They have the lockdown. Nomel comes through clutch. Shield comes in as he flashes and gets back towards his Nexus, but he's going down so quickly. And here we have it, Nova take down game number 2 in a close match against Rolster Y.
That was definitely as close as it gets there, down to the wire. Dragon Dance for so long that flashes come back up, package come back up. I think that was a 5, maybe even 6-minute Dragon Dance between both of these teams. But ultimately, Nova do not slip up. Yes, Yami kind of got caught out a couple of times, but it doesn't matter because when one player falters, the rest of the stacked roster is gonna step up. Iza won them a couple fights, Remake won them a couple fights, and man, Long, what is there to say about this guy? He's just so clutch.
There's a lot to say about this guy.
Yeah, he's just very clutch.
And you say, Nova, do not mess up. But Rolster Y were able to punish them in game 2.
Well, they had the OP draft there.
They had their most comfortable draft.
They had the best champions in the patch.
Debatable.
No, it's not.
Debatable.
It's really not.
Did you see there was the post where like the top, like the 4 WRL teams each gave like their version of like what the best draft possibly is?
No, I'll have to look out for that one.
Very different from what you just said. So we'll have to see what else Nova have in store, if they're able to close this one out, or if Rolster Y can pull back. What a back-and-forth series as we toss it back over to the analyst desk to break this one down.
I just want to say Stuart had something to say.
Look at my hands. Look at my hands. It's Luna.
It didn't work.
That's all right.
It doesn't have the same sort.
That's all right. Not everyone can pull it off like I can. That's all. It's okay, Stuart.
He caught us off guard too.
It was so unexpected.
And that's pretty much how Rolster Y felt as well. I think they felt like at some point in the game they were in control. However, Nova Esports just managed to take it back, and especially with an exceptional performance from Long this time. Stuart, you mentioned how, you know, in the early game he wasn't trying to force plays. This time he was playing a lot safer, and when the time was right, oh, he just went in.
Yeah, when the time was right, especially right at the end as well. When the time was right, Long was able to go in. You know, here with a Lee Sin kick. You know, Long had a much better performance this game than he did in game number 1. But I feel like this game was very, very similar to game number 1. The draft was very similar. You know, Nova were on blue side as well. And in terms of the game game itself is very similar. We're kind of a stalemate during the mid game again, and again, like you said, Digon, backstage, it's kind of Rolster the ones that are on the front foot.
Yeah. To clarify, because I was getting messages from one TJEsports.com. He was saying Lee Sin Long didn't play bad in game 1. He played good. It just wasn't as great, as impactful as this one was, and he wasn't able to generate as much of a lead as he did here. But still, the game got to the same stalemate point where both teams are now in the cycle. We know what the cycle is. It's no longer we're fighting at towers because we have wave clear and they can't siege us because they don't have wave clear or enough dive. It's now at the Drake, and you have the cycle of like try to pick one off, start the Drake, force the other team to show up, and then if that one doesn't work, then they're gonna do it, and then we cycle it. And yet again, Rolster Y falter in the spot. This time reaching for too much. They tried to, after getting the initial kill, they trade 0 for Yami, which isn't a great trade. That's not a great trade. But they get the kill. Doe then goes back on in, tries to get the kill onto Iza in the top lane on the Renekton, almost gets it, but then they start getting destroyed, and we get to see a primetime view of why Long's Lee Sin was banned multiple times, lands the Q onto Nomel, then snipes another one out through the tower to find Luna, and that broke the game wide open around 21 minutes.
Yeah, that moment was just, Nova Esports really prepared for what Rolster Y had. They knew that Doe was going to initiate because that's what Doe's been doing. And Stuart, you mentioned how, some of his calls were a little bit, much of a miss.
Yeah, I mean, I think most of his Hextech ultimatums, he did it once onto Yami, onto Alistar, which Alistar can just headbutt you away anyway. The one that you mentioned onto Yisei as well, when you feel like if Doe actually focused the Hextech ultimatum onto Remake, even onto Long as well when he doesn't have the kick, if he doesn't have the ultimate, then I feel like if you lock down Long and if you kill Long, then that's it. That's the Elder Dragon for you. But again, it's like you're focusing the wrong targets, in my opinion, on a champion like Camille. You're focusing onto Yidse, which, yes, he got very, very low, but at the end of the day, he didn't die. And if you don't get a kill with the Hextech ultimatum, that's a big ultimate that you don't have left.
Right, and even if he did die in that fight, because Ize walked away with literally 1 HP, that fight still plays out the same, where now you don't have the tools to fight against Long, who's rapidly moving around. And in the fight before that, at the Drake pit, when Zero died and Yami then died, Long was caught out. His GA was popped, and we were thinking, okay, cool, Doe's going to ult him. A perfect, picture-perfect shockwave by Remake as soon as Long revived, allowed Long to dash away, then flash away. Then you see Doe try to flash a sweep, tactical sweep afterwards, whiff everything. He's out of range of the ultimatum. Then he's feeling the pressure of like, well, I have ultimatum and we just got a GA. I got to do something. They wasted on Iza. That's the wrong target. The rest of the fight goes the way of Nova. And it's another lesson here by Rolster in these late game situations, not sticking to the plan, not sticking to what the cycle is supposed to be, and getting aggressive, then losing the fight.
And I think it's one of the situations that we talked about at the start of the series as well, where both of these teams want to play for the late game. Nova has played for it. Rolster did the same as well, especially in the games against Immortals. Both these teams want to play for late game, and it kind of comes back into a situation where it's just like bruisers against bruisers, fights against fights. Everything just goes back and forth.
It's fun.
It is fun.
It is fun, but you know what's not so fun? It's the caster curse. It's the caster curse that's not so fun, but it does strike again. As we head into a quick break, here it is in full force in the HyperX call of the game.
Forward himself a quick kill on the Yami. True damage from Ignite takes down the Elsa through the Elsa ultimate.
I don't want to jinx anything. I don't want to curse it.
Then don't say it. Don't say it all.
Rolster Y are looking like they might be the better team here today. They're answering every single play that Nova's makes, and they're being proactive on their own plays as well. Rolster Y ticking all the boxes here, looking amazing in game 3.
I've never
Watch us soar across the sky like 1,000 stars on fire, shining bright. Feel the power like dynamite. Nobody can break
The Caster Curse strikes again here on another episode of How Many Teams Can Omo Get to Lose.
My bad.
After saying a few magic words, do you want to flip the script, maybe make it an even ground, make it 2-2?
No, I genuinely am very impressed with Rolster Y today, which is why I said what I said. And I stand behind that. I thought Rolster Y could have taken that game 3. I thought Rolster Y could have taken that game 1. It just wasn't enough at the end of the day against a team like Nova.
Well, there we go. If you guys have ever wondered, you know, what you need to do when you guys expect which team to win, you just inverse whatever Omo says. Right? You take the analysis. When it's analysis Omo, you take that. But when it's like, yeah, they feel great, I really like them, you inverse that every single time.
It's not even a caster's curse at this point. I'm just cursed, I think.
Yeah.
So all the Roster Y fans at home, my bad, that one's on me. But to all the Nova fans, though, you're very welcome.
A barricade needs to be put up against against Roster Y fans for you.
This is why I'm not casting on the analyst desk for the RRQ game later.
Right.
Riku and Mika were like, do not let Omo curse RRQ.
That's true. That's true. It's a
smart play.
Smart play. Good decision.
But frankly, Nova, I think curse aside, they just absolutely were so clean in the clutch that they pulled that game 3 out to a victory. Honestly, Roster Y, multiple times they could have taken the fights, they could have taken the game as a result of those fights, but the man on your screen, Long right there, maybe the best jungler at Icons, just so clutch with his team backing him up, with Remake, with Iza, with Yummy. I mean, Yummy kind of ran it a couple times, but still.
I love that you bring up those points, and another big point that you brought up going into this one was the idea of blue side preference.
Yes!
A big thing that we're going to look for as we go into draft. There we go, Rolster Y on blue side.
Yeah, so blue side right now is 100% win rate, I believe, between these two teams. Let's see if that pattern holds true here, because I feel like Nova are doing a great job at adapting to the draft and changing what they need to do. So has Roster Y, frankly, but blue side gives them a little bit more power. Let's see if it's enough for them.
You mentioned a big part about how you have to spend so many bans on enchanters so that you
Kama Yumi, 100% ban rate.
Yeah, so then on the red side, banning with those enchanters, you allow so much through as that first pick potential for blue side.
Oh, now this is very interesting. With the Ziggs, with the Senna being banned away, you have to start to think, what's the priority option here for Roster Y? Do you want to first pick Varus? And if so, do Nova want to ban that away here? Or do you want something else? Do you want to ban the Camille? Do you want to ban the Singe? There's so many options left available.
I love the glasses there for, I believe that's Nien.
Didn't quite see, I have to pay attention.
Where it's like, he's like the anime villain where it's like the lighting is just like blocking out his eyes, you can't see anything.
The true anime villain has been and always will be Bruce. The guy just has a swagger to him. He doesn't play it today, unfortunately.
Fair enough.
Tomorrow. Okay, but this is an interesting start.
Wow.
Nova evaluating the Camille ban very highly. They don't want to let Do get his hands on that yet again. I think they're confident playing against Do on any other traditional jungle matchup. You give him Kha'Zix Lee, you're happy with that one, right? You give him Olaf Lee, you're happy with that one too. So what matchup will Roster Y opt for here? Will Nova just go for something like Lee Varus? There we go.
Yeah, Nova picked up the Varus. That was something that surprised me. I thought that Roster Y were definitely going to first pick the Varus.
So too.
You know, the fact is that what is Roster Y going to play now? They've already banned away the Ziggs. The Varus has been taken away.
To be fair, I think Corki has been first picked in basically every game except game 2 where Roster Y grabbed the Camille first. And I think Corki has won every game he's been in as well. I'm very bad with stats. We need analyst Digon to figure that one out for us later on. But Nova here, snatching a lot of tools away from Roster Y. Garen has been a big part of their dubs. Varus was basically winning them games as well throughout the entire Icons. So with these picks gone, what do Roster Y fall back on? Because you can't play the Ziggs, that pick's gone. Do Roster Y want to look for Lucian here?
Kha'Zix comes through for Roster Y. Nova could still respond here with the Lee Sin, something we've seen them perform with before, and Roster Y running it back to a very similar game 1 composition.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit surprising for me, considering they didn't have the best time for that.
I think what's very likely to happen right now is we'll see Luna play the Corki, but I really want to see you pull out something like Lucian and match point. Try to be aggressive, try to run the game. I do agree with your point that Kha'Zix doesn't really work out for them against a jungler like Long.
Exactly the same, right? This is basically exactly the same.
It's basically what they had in game 1. But I think given the circumstances, you have to take Kha'Zix because it's the next best pick available.
Sure.
It's just you don't have a choice.
Corki, strong pick.
Yeah.
Kha'Zix, strong pick. Wukong, strong pick.
Fantastic, yeah.
But it's the idea that, you know, we're going back into a similar situation with game number 1. Same with Nova as well, right? They're going back to a similar situation with game number 1. Again, the Lee Sin. Slightly different now. No Camille. Maybe that's what Roster Y we're banking on, right? The fact is there's no hyper-scaling carry off in the side lane that will eventually outskill all of us. Maybe that's where we get strong.
Yeah, this is kind of what I was afraid of for Rolster Y, right? Nova has done a great job at adapting their drafts. They come into this situation saying that Camille is the problem, we're gonna remove her. Next up, because you're blue side, you get your choice of first picks. Fine, we'll give you the Cocky, but in return, we'll trade you the Varus, we'll trade you the Garen, and these two tools being taken away makes me kind of worried about the chances for Rolster Y here.
Vayne ban away from Nova.
That's good. That's really, really good because you have the Garen, you ban away the Vayne. That's a fair shot here.
They're still leaving up stuff like the Lucian here, but the Vayne seems to be something they don't want to deal with. Could potentially be that hyper carry bot side plus something like a Lulu and Enchanter. Rolster Y banning away some of these supports. The Alistar has been a good one for Yami, I'd say.
Alistar has been a big pick for Yami. He was banned away against him in game 1 as well. He was very successful in that last game, despite getting executed a couple of times. Interesting bans coming out from Rolster Y right now.
If he's getting executed, someone else isn't, so...
That is true, but you want to stay alive, get as many combos off as you can, and this is very interesting from Rolster Y. They thought that the Garen might be flexed to mid lane away from the Wukong, so they ban away the Akali. They don't want that counter pick matchup, but Nova... Now they see where the picks are going. They have an idea that Wukong will go top for sure because you have Kha'Zix in the jungle. That makes them comfortable to say, you know what, regardless of what your mid pick is, we're going to snatch up the Singed here. I'm surprised the Singed dropped so far down the draft as well. I thought that Rolster Y might pick it up on 2-3 together with the Kha'Zix, but it is what it is. I'm very confused. I'm very confused by the draft now. I don't like this. It's so greedy from Rolster Y.
Could go to Luna, could go to Zero.
Well, I do expect Zero will play the mage here. You will play the Orianna into the Cinch. You could get flipped into a Lee Sin cake that can be dangerous. But Rolster Y's team comp, it's so greedy. You're all inning for the late game. You're all inning for the scaling. You don't really have any engaged tools except for Cyclone as well. All the problems we saw from game 1 are coming back again now in game 4.
Braum comes through here against Nova. It is a little surprising for me considering you don't really have that many spells that you're trying to block. But maybe something like the Gragas could have done well for them as well. And Nova just respond by saying, well, if you have engaged, we can do it better. We have the Singed, we have now the Rakan. Makes it very easy for us to get in, give Long this angle to go in and execute your very squishy everybody, honestly.
Look, Brandon, you wanted me to balance out the curse, and I think I have to right now because Nova's comp, it's so good. Nova's draft is really good. It ticks all the boxes.
No, it doesn't work that way because this is analysis. This is factual, right?
So what do you want me to say? Nova's gonna win.
No, you have to say something along the lines like, yeah, Nova, I'm sure like
they look unbeatable. How about if I say Nova with this draft are unbeatable? How does that sound?
I think just finish your analysis.
Okay.
We'll get ready for the game instead.
Two big things, right? I think Nova's comp is fantastic. Like I said, it ticks all the boxes, but there is a window here for Rolster Y. If nothing happens and this game comes down to the Elder Dragon flip again, Rolster Y's comp scales extremely well. It's just a question of can they get there?
Nova Esports don't want to allow Rolster Y to that point. Rolster Y, they've been consistently able to get that 3 games in a row. The 4th game, will it be any different? Yeah, there we go. Look at his glasses.
It's all right.
It's a great look, you know? It's just like, he's the villain. You can't see him. Like,
I don't agree with your analysis of those glasses,
like what's behind his glasses. You know, he's scheming.
These are cooler. I like these glasses.
Sure, they're nice glasses.
Yeah.
You know, as someone with like,
these are nice glasses too.
Really needs glasses. Like being able to seeing a nice pair of glasses is always nice.
I know why you like Nian's glasses because you have the exact same pair.
I don't know what you're talking about. Game number 4, Rolster Y versus Nova Esports. One more chance here for Rolster Y to pull back, go 2-2, and maybe win a game 5. But now, Nova Esports very close to being the first team making their way into the semis.
Grandin, elimination game here, match point. And Luna is on Orianna duty. I gotta say, I'm not a fan of this. I feel like when push comes to shove, when your tournament lives are on the line, you want Luna to be on a pick that he can perform on. And I think that's the Cocky. Putting him on the Orianna here raises some questions for me for sure. Maybe it's just a better laning matchup. Sure, I agree with that. But if you want to assess the players, I would have loved to see Luna have a chance to carry here.
I don't know. I feel like there's some discussion going on in the background that we're not aware of. This is, yeah, Luna has been looking good. Maybe this Orianna is something he can try and work out with. But of course, that is yet to be seen.
Luna has not been hit by a single piercing arrow from Remake, who has thrown like 3 or 4 at this point. Squeaky clean here on the Orianna.
He is playing a very good series right now.
Yeah, he's definitely playing a fantastic series, but unfortunately it has not been enough. Now Nova on match point, like you said, the first team to possibly make it into the semis, into the top 4. Rolster Y, they have one last chance to stop it here. Bring us to a game 5.
There we go, flashing forward to get the root down, and with the Sonic Wave, flashing forward, Resonating Strike held and waited. One more dot of damage onto Zero. He will not die, Omo.
So close there. The damage calculation just a bit off, and that's a win for Rolster Y. You went 2 flashes for 1.
Nova played it as well as they could have.
Yeah, it's perfect.
They held everything, did not use the Resonating Strike too early. They held onto it, flash forward for the auto attacks first instead. Rattel looking for a solo kill onto Iza, but the Nimbus Strike not available, not there for the kill.
Yeah, that was a perfect play coming in from Long and Nian. The only problem is cinched into Cocky. This is not a matchup you can trade health in. You were not able to trade before, and because of that, when the gang comes true, you just don't have enough damage to 100-0-0. That kind of rhymed. 100-0-0?
It's not
okay,
really.
It's not a rhyme, but whatever you want to call it.
Sure, yeah, it's a thing. You know, it's a.
Well, it's one of those
It's
things.
repetition, I guess.
That's an L.
You said it.
Oh, but look at this.
Secondary try in the mid lane, a second attempt, and this time Zero will fall.
I think Zero was as shocked by that as we were. Just out of nowhere, Long has somehow hit level 5, comes right around the back, kicks you into the waiting arms of Nian and Yemi. Fantastic play that we said it was a win for Rolster Y because you burned 2 flashes for 1. But you know that Nova will capitalize when your flash is down. No counterplay there from Zero.
Oh, I love this. Corner bell picked up here by Nian, so it means he's going to be able to consistently move in onto Zero. Zero, he needs a lot here.
He does. He needs a lot of time. That's the big thing right now. Given how Nova have been playing out this entire series, I have a feeling that if he goes to side lane, even with Howbreaker, he's going to get picked on.
What's happening here again? I mean, Nian is trying to get into position. It's going to start to clear out the wave. Yami's going to pick up his ultimate level 5 here.
I think he could have been a little bit more patient, frankly.
Maybe just go for a dive here. Frankly, they should be able to go for it.
Well, Yummy has hit level 5. He has the ultimate available, but they will not try to force a play right now. This is a good timing window. If they can chunk out Rattel, maybe they look for a roam there. I think the Dragon Lane is not where you want to go. Wait, that's a solo kill.
Looking for the ultimate. Gets a knockup on the turret. Picks up the heal for the Honeyfruit time. And Rattel with the outplay.
Yeah, Rattel called the ambulance, but not for him. I thought it was a solo kill, and it was. But he held the Cyclone for just long enough that he baited Iza under the tower, just barely miscalculating the lethal. And frankly, I don't blame him because I miscalculated it too.
Honestly, playing it so well there, top side.
Clutch.
Gives him the Divine Sundra, and now he goes back into lane with a slight advantage.
That's a big spike in this matchup because the Sundra lets you proc percentage health on the Garen. It heals you so much on your golden stuff strikes. This is where the matchup starts to swing, but Long does not want to let that happen.
Rattel once again trading against Iza, but this time around Long's up towards the top side, looking for the flash kick. But beautifully timed clone means Rattel gets to back up in time. Though starts to move in onto Iza, trades back a good amount of damage. The isolation gives Rolster Y a good chance there.
If Rolster Y can stop the base for Iza, if they can keep him low health right now, they'll be in a very good position to secure the Rift Herald spawn. They need to stop Iza from basing, but then again, as I stated, I'm reminded he is a Garen.
You don't have to use the leap, you know, because that's the safeguard, obviously.
All right, so package getting picked up. Now, this is a very big scenario to play out in front of us right now. Inferno, Dragon, and Herald are going to be spawning. I think both of these teams want to contest. You have the package, and you have power spikes on both teams. It's going to be Rolster Y starting off the Herald.
It's like you mentioned, Iza had to spend so much time in lane, so now only getting the recall will be late towards the objective.
Rolster Y can run down now. They should stop that.
Rift Herald getting picked up here by Rolster Y. But
Go
he can pick up the
down!
eye so that he can get the smite down. The Dragon now looking to go over to Nova Esports in that time. Package comes across. He will go over the long with the smite secured in time, but the end dashes in too aggressively. Nearly loses his life despite the package. Rattel comes in with the knockout with the Cyclone. Though with an assassination in the mid lane. A kill onto Iza.
And now they have the priority. They still have tools available. They have Shockwave. Do they want to try to pressure this? Not quite.
It's going to be difficult. Yen is still around. Remake still around. Won't be able to get the turret here, but the Rift Herald expanded in the mid lane.
Honestly, a very even game state right now, but I'll give the edge to Nova just because they got that Inferno Dragon. That's going to be such a big pickup for them. And I think if you look at Nova's team comp, they're not at their spikes yet. The next Dragon, when some lethality starts to come out for Remake, when Nian gets a 2-3 item spike on that Cinch, when Long gets a 2-3 item spike on Lee Sin, that's when I think their comp really starts to take over. And Rolster Y, they need a bit more time. Corki will not be online that soon, especially with Howbreaker first item. Orianna needs to stack a tier. It takes a while to get to Seraphs. And I think Nova, frankly, should just run over Rolster Y at the next team fight.
I mean, something that we see so often in these games is the early dragons go off to one side and the other dragon goes to somebody else. We'll have to see if Nova will be able to prevent that from being the case. Last game they were able to.
Yeah. I think also in that entire setup, frankly, Rolster Y, if they rotated a bit earlier, if they went down a bit quicker, they might have been able to stop the dragon, get a couple more kills. But I can also understand their hesitation. Look at how clean this singed is.
This is interesting. Exhaust onto Zero. Nian won't be able to get a kill here, but long spots out Rattel towards the top side. Fortunately for him, I don't think that's anything to be amounted here. They are trying to pick up this turret towards the top end. I think he's just in a decent position now, especially with the Bramble Vest. It's going to be difficult for Rattel to finish him off too easily.
Yeah, it's a bit curious that they're trying to pressure onto the Wukong. He's not very easy to kill at this point in the game.
Such an aggressive position from Nian in 2 versus 1. More than willing to try and take on Do and Zero to make a misstep. He's going to be there to try and get the flip. Pull you back in on the turret, but the leap coming through.
The
Yami
timing.
going to try and chase after with the quickness. Trying to look for the knock up onto Do, but won't be able to get there in time. It expires and Do gets to walk away yet again.
And this is what I was talking about in Game 3. Nova are doing such a good job at trying to trade sides of the map, making plays on both sides of the map, but Rolster Y have been answering them every single time, and that's exactly what you need to do to beat a WRL team. This is one of the things they do best. They split the map so well, but Rolster Y doing it even better than them. But Nova, at the end of the day, the team fighting is where they still manage to find the dub last game.
What an intense situation here. Nova realize they have the advantage, and so they're looking to try and capitalize, try and build an advantage for themselves. Something Rolster Y have had difficulty doing in the past. Rolster desperately trying to clear the way, prevent Nova's dive in the bot side.
Okay, we're just gonna see both teams back away right now. A very tense situation. You don't want to make a risk that could lose you this game. Nova, this is your chance to book yourself a ticket to at least the top 4 right now. And Rolster Y, last life. You're on your last legs. You can't afford to slip up. Both teams taking a step back. We're going to see scaling, and this is why I think Rolster Y's comp might have a chance. Because if both teams are a bit cautious, and we get to the Elder Dragon again, then you're scaling online.
And Rolster Y, frankly, a top 4 team last time around the competition, want to try and repeat that. They want to have some representation going into it with the WCK in the conversation for one of the best teams in the world. They already are in the knockout stages, but how do they bring that a step further? Well, first step, close out this game, win this game against Nova, and then the series. Well, Nova, of course, they want to keep things going for the WRL, be the first team to make their way into the semis.
And Nian in a little bit of trouble, gets forced to pop his out. Not going to be anything too severe. That's not a game-winning or a game-losing ultimate. But with the package, with the inside track, this should be Rolster Y finding a play here. I thought they would.
Away. Zero getting chased after. He's been grounded. He won't be able to get away easy. The package is up. He dashes towards the Reptile. Has to use the Valkyrie again. Starts to dash away. Over by the backline. Isa still alive and fighting long. Nearly taken down. Those tries to jump in. Gets to execute in time, but a massive flip from Yen with a kill. Back on the goal. Luna goes down, and Nomel dashing over the Reptile. The arrow misses out for Remake. Gets the chance of the knock up. A knock up and a double kill for Reptile.
And I thought that Nova would have won that fight because Isa kills Luna in a 1v2 situation, but at the end of the day, this Wukong is just so strong right now. Together with the backup from Do and Nomel and Zero, Rattel manages to clean up, and that's a small win here for Rolster Y. They do spend the package though.
Nian kind of is kind of an assassin here, honestly. Like, look at what happens here first. He gets a knockback. Okay, all is good, all is well. And then you'd think that Zero would be safe, but watch what Nian does here.
What does Nian do here?
Well, after this one, he's gonna run around for a little bit, and then he takes out Do. He flashes to the wall chase after. Look at the amount of damage that he did there as well.
Man,
it's
honestly,
kind of an assassin.
The Cinch is very strong right now, but Rattel even stronger with the Sundra. The only problem was he was tied up with Isa, so that was the concern here. We're just gonna see objectives being traded. Rolster Y feeling strong, but not strong enough. They don't want to risk losing the game here.
Has to use the Valkyrie to get away. The Rift Herald will go the way of Nova. Dragon finally goes over the Rolster Y. They're looking for a turret at the top side. Don't have to use the Rift Herald here. Just a turret pickup. That was first turret.
That's first turret. Yeah, both of these teams playing a lot slower.
It's almost 11 minutes.
A much slower game than we saw the last couple times around. And if this trend continues, maybe Rolster Y's team comp does hit the scaling break points. As of now, it's still going to be hard. They're still going to need a bit more time. But they're edging ever so much closer to it. I think you're probably looking at 3-4 items here on the Cocky Oriana before you start winning team fights to be safe. and they're only at 2 items, so it's gonna be a while more, granted.
Yeah, playing for that late game is something that Rolster Y want here, so they won't be too concerned about things taking a little bit longer in this series. We're in fact going to see 4 dragons
Yeah,
spawn.
exactly. That's the problem right now. Because it's 4 dragons until you see the Elder, Nova cannot force the issue like they have been in the last couple games, and that should, I say should, give Rolster Y enough time to scale up.
A little bit more. We'll have to see if it is going to be enough. Yeah. Feels like the pressure from Nova has been amounting to be quite a bit.
Yeah. But to be fair, Rolster Y, they've been doing a great job in a lot of these team fights as well. Even if you look at the last few games in this series, a lot of the time, the team fight wins from Nova comes down to heroic performances from individual members like Long, like Iza, like Nian. This time around, though, the team fighting advantage should be on the side of Rolster Y.
I do like what they have here for Nova, though. With Nian coming into this one still, his Singe genuinely looks somewhat different than a lot of the other Singe plays that we've had so far. You know, knowing his limits, being aggressive enough to get that pick off.
Long is so smooth.
And of
timing
course,
that so well.
Long's performance here in this game, in this series.
Yeah, because you chunk out Nomel, that's the key to goal.
Redemption finds the fight. They start this one off under turret. A massive pickup here. The shockwave won't be able to be used. Luna goes down before it's able to be channeled. Luna gets a massive kick, knocks them back in between 4. Eats over the response, comes in with a massive injustice, knocks you up, knocks you down. Nova Esports run down Rolster Y in the mid lane. 2 Chargers already with the Reptile and looking for a third, escorting it over. They should be able to get this one, Omo.
Not quite enough, just barely. I think if they stayed with it, a couple more hits would have been enough, but making the safe call here, backing away for Baron. And what was that team fight from Nova that was full team fighting performances? Coca-Cola pop-up comes in. This one, of course, starts off with Yami tying up the entire team on the side of Rolster Y. Rolster Y regroup. They try to find a fight back, but because you regroup, because you group up, that sets up Long for the massive kick. And Iza for the Demacian Justice as well. Such a good performance. The fight continues.
Quickly teleporting in. Long over by the back of the pit. Wants to try and steal away the Baron, but he goes over to Luna in this exchange. Nova comes across now. Do with the jump. Leaves over to the back line, trying to take them down. Long goes down in that exchange. Nian over by the side.
Nian's dead.
Rule number 1, you don't chase the Singed. This is quite tantalizing, I am aware. Yes, I know, guys, I know you want a Singe.
They got killed.
I know you want the Singe, guys, but don't chase the Singe. Look at what happens.
No.
Iza comes in, takes them down. They trade back for one more, but Do falls in the process.
You know, I thought they had him too. I completely understand why Rolster Y chose to chase. I thought they could kill him. I thought they could snowball the Baron steal to something massive here, but they do just take down Iza. Zero's going to be pushing in the mid lane. Now the question's very important for Rolster Y. 1 minute and 15 seconds on the clock. What can you do with this Baron steal to try to run away with the game here?
We'll have to see if they have what it takes to finish this one off. Long gets the catch. Here we go. Moving in onto Rattel. Rattel taking auto tag after auto tag. The burn from Long for the kill pickup.
We're starting to hear the screams and the shouts coming in from the players. They take down mid-tier 2 on the side of Rolster Y. They're starting to even up the gold. Only 3,000 gold separates these two teams in match points for Nova.
I'll be honest, I cannot hear either of them right now. I'm so focused on this game. There's so much riding on this next win.
Teacher's Pat.
I don't know how to respond to that. Hey, Omo, look at your hands.
No. We're not doing that over here. We're not doing that. I want to call back to the play that Nova had. It was a fantastic setup. It's a fantastic dive. What went wrong after that was their indecision around deciding, should we commit to the Baron, or do we commit to the mid lane inhibitor? Because they tried to do both. They snuck in a couple hits on the inhib, miscalculated how much the Herald would do, backed away to the Baron. That kind of gave Rolster Y enough time to respawn, TP in, and get the steal down. If Nova was more decisive, they could have gotten either one, and instead they end up with neither. Rolster Y now a little bit closer in the game, but still, it's such a close fight.
Package here for Rolster Y. As they start to run in, Zero comes through, Nomel acting as that front line. Iza trying to ignore the Braum and get into the back line as quickly as they can. Dragon going over the Rolster Y's position, but Nova quickly fighting back for it, wrestling for this control.
Watch the shockwave.
Coming in, there we go. Long over to the pit, tries to get the flash away from Do, and he manages to succeed. That's a good package. Raquel over by the back, and Long once again goes to the back line, kicks in Noel. Trying to finish off their first target, take down Zero. Zero comes in with the package, but still goes down. Raquel sent running, still the silence comes through. Isa tries to chase after. Do's still alive at this point. They need to quickly chase after, and yet slowed here. Remake flashes in, looking for an auto time to the bot side. Turret still up. Rolster Y survive on the turret.
Nova are trying to corral Rolster Y in right now, and they've successfully done it. How are you gonna reapproach this dragon?
Shockwave to catch onto Remake. A second onto Nyan. Nomel in position. The teleport's coming through. Rolster Y quickly recollect their forces. Get back into the dragon pit. The dragon goes over the Long, but Nova quickly sent running. Go looking for the knockout. Yami with a beautiful knockout of his own.
You get the shockwave, you get the kills, but you still lose. Nova can do no wrong here. They lose 2 players, but they get mid lane in hit because they set up the waves. They get the dragon because of Long, and they get the disengage because of Yami. Nova always finds something to answer back.
An unbelievable exchange on both sides. Rolster Y fighting tooth and nail here. Nova narrowly getting the dragon, but the goal difference under 3,000 here.
And it always comes down to the same thing, Grandin. Heroic individual performances. We said we wanted to see Luna carry this game. He's trying his best on this Ariana. He came so close with the 2-man shockwave, but it wasn't enough. The kick from Long was the first step. He secured the dragon. And because Nova this time around, they got mid lane push in first. The wave took down the already low mid lane turret. That's the dragon, that's the Herald, that's the teamfight win.
What an insane difference. Mid and hit down, but bot side outer tier turret still up.
Yeah, what a series, frankly. Like, I'm losing it already. I can only imagine the tension that these teams feel. It's game 4 in the series, and we've been dancing Elder for, I think, 10 minutes at this point, if you count every game so far. I want to see how long the Elder dance in this game is going to be as well.
Probably more than 10 minutes. I feel like every game has come down to an Elder dance.
Yeah. I think like 15-minute Elder dances might have been like the story of this entire series at this point.
Now Baron's back up. Elder Drake's still a ways away, so neither side really has to deal with that one for now. But the Baron's something to worry about. We've seen how quickly Nova are able to flip a switch and get on the Baron.
But the good news for Rolster Y right now is Nova's team comp does not allow them to rush Baron. I say that, but Nova have loved to subvert my expectations this entire series.
They will try, Omo. They will absolutely try. Rushing is a subjective term.
That's true. Well, if you make a mistake like this,
Nomel taking damage, but I'm not sure how much he can capitalize off of this. So the Glacial Fissure comes through. Nomel might just go down. Long chases after so far. The exhaust, but it's still a kill. Going the way of Nova. They're looking for a second onto Ratel. The kick away. Long taking damage. Flashes away from the orb from Luna. Luna chases after a kill. Do quickly pursuing as well. Then comes in, provides support for his team.
Zero's getting chased down, but he manages to get away. But he does get the tier 2 turret. You kill Nomel, but because you take so long to kill him.
Flashing onto Nien.
Oh no.
Mega Adhesive stops Do from chasing after another kill. Package now comes in. One more auto tag onto Do. Guardian Angel comes down. Isa chasing after. Should be able to get a kill onto the Kazakhs.
Granted, this could be Baron with the jungler dead. Nova might just flip the switch, like you said, and commit to the Baron. You've got 40 seconds. He does have teleport available. That leaves you with a window of maybe 20, 30 seconds. Do Nova want to flip this?
Long chasing for a kill against Ratel. Ratel starts to flash away. Sonic Wave, Resonating Strike, Luna for backup. Nova.
The klaxons ring out. The package comes in. It's going to be Rolster Y now, who maybe want to try to stop this. 25 seconds on Do. Baron gets started. TP from Ratel.
Joining into the fight. There's 3 on 5. 4
this is not a good
on
position,
5.
Brandon.
S0 joins in, but it's a little bit too late. Nova decide they do not want to commit for this one. Take the teleport from Ratel and be happy.
Yeah, 10 seconds on Do's respawn timer. They probably made the right call here. With a different team comp, I could see Nova try to rush it, but this time around, they frankly just don't have the Baron damage. That forces Zero to go back to mid lane. He has to clear out the super creeps that will keep coming in. And Rolster Y, they're gonna be constantly under pressure because of that as well. I want to point out Remake's build path. No lethality on this Varus. He has some armor pan. He's still gonna have some poke, but he goes for a Triforce Death Dance.
Tell you what, Omo.
In all my years, I've never seen something like this.
With all your years, with how long we've gone in this game, around that Baron fight, Elder Dragon is now a minute away from spawning. And now, with 2 objectives on the map, with 2 sides to play for.
Yeah.
Is this too much for Rolster Y to deal with, or is this their chance to scale up and find the fight?
I genuinely think, given the game state right now, Rolster Y could very well end up winning the next fight. But I want to see Koki finish his last item. He's sitting on the IH, only crit item he has. He needs to get some sort of attack speed item to back that up. Maybe the Solari, maybe the Storm Razor. You just need more crit, and I think that should be enough damage for Rolster Y to run away with this game. Luna's happy with where he is in the game right now, but 20 seconds on the clock. That should mean that Zero does not have enough time to pick up the last item. He will not have package, and the timing window is there for Nova to try to start things off. Instead, they're going for a camp. Look at Yami.
10 seconds on the other Drake. Lane control in the way of Nova, and it's up to Rolster Y to consistently respond to this one. The mid lane.
Don't show the top wave. They might just start it.
They know that those up by the top side.
He has TP though.
They want to try and start up the Elder Drake, getting a little bit of damage down, but they have vision. Rolster Y have vision, and so they know that Nova are not committed for the Elder Drake. They start to run in. There we go. Try to force the fight. He jump onto Luna, but Luna gets out in time, flashes away, builds distance.
That's a huge timing window because you no longer have the Rakan engage. Without the Rakan engage, that just leaves you with the Singe flash flip. That's your only teamfight engage option right now, and this should be the window that Rolster wants.
They try and jump in. Once again, a knockout coming through. The knockout from Rattel as they try and jump forward. Gets knocked back. The Cyclone once again used. Shockwave lands. Massive one on the remake. Remake's down. Love comes in. He's trying to finish on Zero. He goes into stasis. Doe doing work, putting out damage. They get the stun onto Long, but they aren't able to hold him down. Not enough crowd control in place.
And look at the damage coming in from Luna. Look at the damage coming in from Zero. Long is alive, but he has to buy TP. He has waves to teleport to. But I feel like, Rolster Y, do it. Do something. Rolster Y, do it.
There's no dragon up on the table, not with Long alive. That's too much of a risk.
Yeah, they don't want to risk it, and you can't blame them. That's what Long is famous for, stealing away these objectives. So Rolster Y, they opt to go for the safe play. They back away, but this gives Nova time to regroup, to re-secure vision, control of this teamfight area. And there's no TP on Rattel, but Remake has TP. Nova could now start this off.
Isa has to be in the side lane, trying to clear the way first. Less the inhibitor goes down. Rolster Y moving in onto the Dragon. They start this one up. Look to maybe commit to this one for real, especially with the package coming their way. Zero joining in on the fight.
Have members.
Nyan over by the side, tries to isolate off Luna, but he does not have anyone here to back him up. No damage to take down the Orianna. Remake teleports in.
Remake teleports in, but this is enough time for Rolster Y to get back all their members because Isa had to answer the Baron lane wave. That gives Rattel time to stroll on back to the pit. Luna eating some poke, but he's gonna be fine here. And I feel like Rolster Y, surely this is it. Surely this is your timing window. Surely you start off the Elder Dragon with the package, with the Shockwave, with all the items, with all the scaling you've done. It's do or die. Your mid lane wave is gonna punish you.
Rolster Y have 6
You have
turrets
to
here.
do it.
Only inhibitor standing in between them and the Nexus. Yami trying to trade back.
If
Maybe
you don't
pick
stop
up
this, you're
onto-
gonna lose the game, Rolster Y.
Onto Yami.
Oh no.
It's being forced away from the Dragon. The Elder Drake started up here by Long. He's looks to try and come in for this
Look at
one.
Isa.
In the pit right now, they have to try and deal with the Garen first over by the side. Nomel, along with Doe, are trying to stop the Elder Drake from going over to Nova.
They're gonna look for Dodo. They're trying to jump in on him.
Yami comes in with an engagement of his own. Nova Esports. They are feeling so confident right now. Remake over by the side, trying to pick out Doe. Doe with the Guardian Angel will still have a second chance at life. But Long, in the meantime, secures the Mountain Drake. The Elder Dragon over to Nova Esports. The Shockwave comes across Luna. Might just give a chance for Rolster Y to win this fight. Over by the side, he's still alive. Doe looking for some damage down. Still, Rattel goes down. Zero goes down. Luna's still alive, but he's sent running. Man, chasing after. But the mid wave going the way of Nova Esports. They get to keep pushing this one down. Remake running down mid as quickly as he can.
Remake has attack speed. He has the teleport.
Comes through. Ita comes here to teleport. They're going in on the Nexus. Nova Esports are prepared to win this one. Take Rolster Y down, and the first team in the semifinals will be Nova Esports.
4 teams from the WRL enter the knockout stages, and one of them have already booked their tickets into the top 4. It's gonna be Nova Esports playing around Long, playing around your superstar jungler, dancing around the map, running KT Rolster ragged on the map there. There was nothing they could do with the mid lane inhib down. They rushed the Dragon. Killer instinct is what wins it for Nova at the end of the day.
And once again for Rolster Y getting into the knockout stage and then losing to a WRL team.
Flashbacks.
Flashbacks, absolutely. but putting up a good fight both in the last time they faced off
Yeah.
against their opponents. I believe it was Thunder Talk, where they went for a full 5-game series this time around, looking like it could have gone a 5-game series. That last
So
fight
close.
was anyone's to win.
And honestly, that game 3 as well, Rolster Y are gonna be mad they let game 3, game 4 slip through their fingers. They made the series so close, but ultimately this whole thing came down to the clutch. And who was better in the clutch? Of course it was Long and the rest of Nova. On your screens right now, enjoy this victory, because you might have to face another WRL team in the top 4 soon.
I'll tell you what, Omo. I'll tell you what.
Tell me.
Caster Curse.
My bad. Maybe if I didn't say what I said,
I feel like
Rolster Y
you.
could
I
have
feel
done
like
it.
you need to make a formal apology to all Roster Y fans out here. You know, maybe stand up, right?
Do I
you
have to
know?
shave my head?
Well, if you want to.
To all Roster Y fans at home, I feel like that was partially my bad. I'm sorry about that one, Miyane. Yeah, but still, heroic performances coming out from individual members. I think at the end of the day, same thing as the Horizon Cup.
Absolutely.
Rattel and Luna are just so cracked.
And largely from the same roster that came from the Rising Cup as well, right? And so coming back in, still trying to keep that one going. Well, so much to be seen from the future for Roster Y, but for now, we're going to focus on the present here, and that's going to be Nova Esports, the first team to book a spot in the semifinals.
Well, you guys know who to blame. Apparently, it's
It's all
almost
almost
fault.
fault.
It's almost fault for this, but no. I mean, Nova Esports, of course, they played so well in this series. We were on the edge of our seats with that last one because we didn't exactly know how it was going to go because Rolster Y had a lot of opportunities to take this.
It was a lot more tense, I feel like, this
Yeah,
game
it
compared
was.
to the other. The other ones were like, it was a stalemate of the Elder Dragon. There wasn't really too much happening, but this one felt a lot more tense. You know, Long again on the Lee Sin, showing us again why he's so strong on this champion and why it's been banned so many times against him as well.
Yeah, exactly. And we've, with Nova Esports, of course, Long was definitely one of the playmakers. I feel like, on the side of Rolster Y, though, they really did play their hearts out, and congratulations to them. They have nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, Luna and Nomel just played so well. Rattel as well, he had a little bit of a rocky start, but eventually, come, game 3 and game 4, he really found his footing there. But Nova Esports are just too good, and in the end, they were the better team for this.
I think Rolster Y, put up a really good fight in this series.
they did.
Even in this last game as well, where backs were against the wall, they went for this different sort of play style as well. They went for Luna on the Orianna instead, trying to go for the AP carry. Nomel played the Brom instead of playing an engaged champion. Rattel with the outplays as well. It was a really good performance overall by Rolster Y, and I feel like for them, I don't think they should feel too bad about it, because I feel like going into this series, I feel like Nova were the favourites, or mostly everyone's favourites. But Rolster Y put up a great performance, and I feel like, they should go home with their heads held high.
Yeah, you predicted a 3-0. You predicted a 3-0. The fact that they were able to
My
take...
bold prediction's gone already. It's out the window. It's gone.
The fact that they were able to take one game off of Nova Esports, the fact that they were able to bring one game to 30 minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
Just dancing around, I think it was the Elder at that time. I mean, that just says so much about Rolster Y, and that unfortunately ends the last of the Horizon Cup teams. Yeah. Unfortunately, the Horizon Cup meta does not stand here at Icons 2022, which is a little bit interesting, but also goes to show how dynamic of a scene that we have here in the Wild Rift Esports. Now, going back to this game, going back to this series, though, I really do wonder what this means for Nova Esports, especially as they progress throughout this stage, because we're seeing, that they can hang back a little bit. We're seeing that of course, they know how to push, they know how to be aggressive. I wonder what that means when they eventually come up against, stronger and stronger teams.
Yeah, I mean, the competition is going to get tougher and tougher for them as well. I believe they're on the same side of the bracket as RRQ and FPX as well, so they're going to have to play the winner of one of them two. And if you compare, Rolster Y, which no disrespect to Rolster Y, but compare them to either FPX or RRQ, that's a whole different ball game. You're going to have to adapt. You're going to have to play a different sort of play style. But they showed that they can play aggressive during the early game. Long did play really aggressive during the early game at some points during the series. But then you showed that like Nova and I feel like the WR teams, RL teams in general, that when it gets to late game or when it gets to them elder fights, when it gets to the situation where it's a split-second decision making, they know what to do. They know what to do at the right times. They know when to go in. They know they're so patient as well. Sometimes I feel like especially in this game, this last game that we just saw, the patience of Nova to not do Elder Dragon, even though Doe was dead, normally teams would be like, okay, the jungler's dead, we're going to go for this, Baron, we're going to go for this Elder Dragon. But they play so patiently, they wait for the right time, and it's always long as well in the back line, always getting them Dragon Rage kicks, always diving in as well and having the same performance.
You mentioned like the hive mind kind of these of Nova, right? And I remember one particular moment, I think it was in this recent game 4, wherein they were at a stalemate somewhere in the mid, and we wondered whether they were going to clash. And instead, as one, Nova actually just turned, and then they turn their attention to the next dragon, which is just like, that's how good their decision making is. They all know exactly what to do, and that was what we were saying about all of these WRL teams. They have a plan A, they have a plan B, they have a plan C, and they know exactly
all the way down to Z.
All the way down to Z, all the way down to Z, and that's something that other regions have yet to show. And for Rolster Y, they did have that late game security and everything, but in the end, Nova Esports just had everything secured.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like for Rolster Y again, when it got to the late game, it was the game number 1. It was to do with the Kha'Zix going down to bot side and give away the Baron for free. It was a little tiny misplays. It was Yitse on the Camille, with Hextech ultimatums. The little tiny decision-making moments and little tiny, kind of moments where in a game like Wild Rift, you can't really, you have to make the split-second decisions. And if it's the wrong decision, then that could be the game over.
For sure, especially since it's a much shorter game than the PC version. And, every single second really does count in this game. The moment when you, turn your attention away from one objective into another. The moment you hesitate, I mean, teams like Nova Esports will take that, and use it to their advantage, which is exactly what we saw. Every time Rolster Y, seemed to hesitate or seemed to, just wait a little bit, Nova Esports knew exactly that, like, okay, they're hesitating, this is when we go. And that one split second when they think twice about what they're going to do, that ends up being their downfall. But, with all of these players, again, we keep saying it, Rolster Y, they have nothing to be ashamed of. They were so strong. And I think this was a massive improvement from their performance at the Horizon Cup.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like it's a kind of a big improvement of what we saw during the group stage as well. I think for group stage, they looked a little bit shaky. They did take games off of the Chinese team, WRO team in their group, but they also struggled a little bit against Immortals as well. And they showed that, they still have these star players on their team. I think Luna has performed really, really well. Like you said, Rattel, Nomel as well has been like the big surprise for me this entire tournament. I feel like he's one of, if not the best supports in this entire tournament. I feel like, his set was really strong. Even the Brom as well in that previous game that we just saw, the amount of ultimates he got, like multiple man knockups as well. But even on the side of Nova as well, I feel like they adapted a little bit. Remake has not played a single AD carry, if you don't really class Senna as an AD carry. He hasn't played a single AD carry, but in that 4th game, he picked up the Varus, and he looks really strong on the Varus as well. So Nova pulling out some different strings that we haven't actually seen from them before.
Yeah, it's almost chameleon-like of them, because the Nova Esports that we saw in the play-ins and the group stages, we saw them as like, okay, Long makes the plays and we build around Long. Now they're showing different sides. Actually, in those 4 games, we saw like different sides of Nova Esports, which make them very scary. I mean, I've said this before on broadcast as well. They're actually a much more exciting team to me to watch, like, rather than say maybe JD Gaming. And I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for that, but I feel like Nova Esports are a lot more exciting just because they have these different sides that, that they show. It makes them, it makes them harder to read as well, because now suddenly Nova Esports, they can play a little bit passive and they can play more into the late game rather than just Long diving in.
Exactly. I mean, I think it still is with Nova. It's still to do with Long, and I still feel like Long is still the main carry. But they showed that, Yitse still performed really, really well. Nian coming in as a sub as well, performed really, really well in the mid lane. You had the bot lane with Remake as well, which I kind of said at the start of the series was Remake is this quote-unquote like sort of supportive duo lane carry, which we see quite a lot with like these AP majors like Oriana, like Morgana as well. But they're showing that, Remake can play the Varus and carry. Yitse can play the Camille and carry in the side lane as well. They're showing different styles of Nova, like you said, that we haven't seen them play in the group stage before.
And I feel like, for Nova Esports too, I love that we actually saw them sweat.
Yeah.
I love that they were definitely pushed to their limit with this series. It means something very exciting for Wild Rift Esports, because we know that Rolster Y, they did get better, and they did get better in this, period of like 3 weeks or so. They changed so much, they evolved so much. They were able to take a team which during the play-ins we probably would have said 2-0, no problem. Now they were able to really push them, you know, up until the very, very late game. And Nova, we really saw them playing their hearts out. They really had to take this fight to Rolster Y for them to take this series. And it's very, very exciting as we mentioned, as moving into stronger and stronger teams.
Exactly, and then go into the top 4 now. They have to play off against an even stronger opponent as well. One of these teams behind us, which we can hear them already as well.
Very, very loud teams.
We can hear them. They're very loud already. I think this next series is going to be very, very interesting as well. But yeah, Rolster Y, like I said, I think they can go home with the heads held high.
Yeah.
You know, I think both times, you know, I think they lost to Thunder Talk last year, and they lost to Nova Esports this year. But I think as a roster, I think they'll go into next year still with full of confidence.
Definitely, and congratulations to Rolster Y and congratulations to Nova Esports. Now we've got one more quarterfinal match today, and it is SEA going up against WRL once again. You will see RRQ versus FPX when Icons 2022 returns.
There's something about games.
What you doing there gives you real chills.
There is one thing that can't be stopped.
Feelings. And if you can feel it,
it must be real, right?
And that's
real magic.